Hello, welcome everybody to Battle Pirates Crib. Um, we're probably going to have an extended show tonight, considering they've released a lot of information today. Probably more information today than they've released in probably a month combined, at least. So we're going to talk about the upcoming raid, the state of the game, keeping hackers from working on their bases, all sorts of good nonsense. So let me go ahead and start introducing people from left to right on your YouTube screen. The Earth. Okay.
Evening, guys.
Hey, Earth. We know it's late there. And Dr. Death.
Hello, everyone.
Padre Prince.
Happy Father's Day, ladies.
And this is Hefe. So, how is everybody doing today? Because I'm still not sure how to process that one.
Good. Had a good day. Relaxed. Day off
Okay.
work is always a good day.
That's nice. Got some chores done. And what?
Base hitting. Damn it.
Yeah, well.
It's coming.
Maybe.
Yeah. Some version of it is coming. So that's kind of exciting.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we'll talk about that. I'm a little bit disappointed or whatever as far as because we'll talk about the fact that we've seen our third damage type as far as turrets released, and it's not exactly what I had hoped for, but we can move on. I guess we can go ahead and start the slides, and I will present Dr. Death here, and we'll start with our normal bug fixes, which are pretty boring. Fix an issue where users in World 1 were unable to engage in subsector resource bases. This happened for like a day or two, like a week ago. Fix an issue where users in World 1 were unable to link to a Hive node. Fix an issue where there was widespread lag across the game. I think that had to do with a Flash update. I guess there was some severe lag at some point. So, did anybody experience? I wasn't playing. I guess I wasn't playing when that was going on.
Yeah, I played. I played. It was right after that last update, not today's update, but last week's update. And I tell you what, oh Lord, it was taking me. I'd normally get across the map, with my fleet. And I could scroll the map to keep up with my fleet. Oh, Lord, no, could not do it. You get into a target and you were just doing the cartwheels across the target. It was just brutal.
Yeah, between that and not actually being able to see any targets on the map was always a good one as well.
Yeah.
Ooh, I didn't get that.
Huh. Okay, so it wasn't specified to a specific server like the map server or the battle server. It was just across the board lag.
Yeah, it was across the board.
Okay. Alrighty. Unless we got anything more, I'm not sure why that poor young lady is driving a Volkswagen in the snow and rain, or snow and possibly across a lake with all the water. But they're implementing soon. This is a warning. This warn you. They're going to implement some sort of update. Next update, they're going to introduce an update right before Bounty, which will prevent some of the tomfoolery and shenanigans and hacking that's been going on with player bases, including but not limited to being overpower, total base power, I assume, or maybe even at the turret or building level. Equipping duplicates of the same item, so maybe tagging on 2 fire supports onto a single building. I don't know. Equipping items they do not own. So I don't know what that, but and they're going to remove their structure that's infected, so to speak. That doesn't sound harsh enough to me.
Well, it says they're going to be banning some players based on a strict set of guidelines, but I think that's BS. What the heck? My computer just went all wacky, buddy.
Okay. Well,
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, now we're like slides. I'm going to take you off present.
Yeah,
I think we're at slide 400 at this point. Yeah. So yeah, let me know when you get back up to speed over there.
This is an update they could keep secret and just launch it in the background and then surprise.
Yeah, and watch everybody go. Oh.
And also, this isn't really the optimal time to be launching. Oh, look, we're going to be fixing bases that are overpowered. I think this should have been kept secret, and they should have launched this after the 26th, when bases were actually hittable again.
Yeah.
Because at this point in time, do you really need a hack if you've got the turrets? I mean, Kixeye made the hack for us. Everything's already way overpowered. So I think the implementation on this was, I mean, great, good for them for fixing it. But at the same time, they could have definitely stuck the point of don't cheat in our game a lot harder if they'd waited a little while and been a little more secretive around this particular.
Well, I mean, here's my point on it, though. I mean, think about it. Okay, so we know we got hackers. Yeah, don't give them a warning. Freaking ban them. Period. You know what I'm saying? You hacked the game. You shouldn't be playing. But instead they're going to be banning players based on a strict set of guidelines. Well, in my mind, that's just telling me that the only guideline that's going to be strictly followed by is whether or not if the player coins.
How much coin they use, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it does. I was going to say that, but I didn't want to be too negative. But yeah, that was the first thing that popped in my mind as well, and that's because we've seen, I guess they've caught a bunch of people and they seem to get banned for about 3 days and then they're back. I've seen a lot of that on the Banhammer page where, oh, this person's gotten banned, and then, you can read down more of their coordinates are, or you can know their full name and they're an alliance. And if they're in your world, you can find their base. And by the, then you go find them later, you see them, they're banned, and then they're all of a sudden unbanned.
And it's always, and the ones that are getting unbanned are always the ones that spend coin.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't spend coin and you get your base banned, you won't get it back.
Yeah.
And I think that's not a good standard to set the guideline by. I think bottom line, if you're a hacker and you hack the game, you should be banned, period. That's it. You're done.
Yeah, but we don't know how prevalent this is. I mean, they could be doing this to potentially not lose as many players as far as revenue, because these players could be doing a combination of both. They could be doing a lot of coining, hitting bases, doing whatever they want, and then you can't hit their base back because it's hacked. I mean, it speaks largely, in my mind, to the state of the game, not the state of the game that they're talking about, but as far as the tenuous place they are with player participation and potential income that they're getting. I just think, I mean, I don't like it. I mean, if the game was in a healthier place, I think I agree with you completely 100%, Dr. Death, but the way the game is, I don't know that they can afford to do that. I mean, it is the right moral move to make, but I just don't know with the, with the participation numbers that we've seen in the raids and bounty and whatnot. I don't know that they, it would be right to take the moral standing and the moral ground to say, oh, okay, we're going to ban them if they're hacking. They're using third-party software. They're not like glitching and moving things. but I just don't. I don't think the game is healthy enough for potentially to ban these players.
Well, how about this? Ban them for a week, and then when they come back, all the shit's gone on the turrets that's messed up, and their base parts are at negative 25 million. Make them work for
like that.
Well, I'm thinking, yeah, I like the negative base parts. I also like getting rid of the entire turret, because if you have something funky going on with your epic cat mortars, it takes 4.5 days to take that bitch off. So, I mean, it's going to cost you a good amount of base parts, but it's 4.5 days to take some, to strip down an epic cat, just the epic cat mortar. To take it off is 4.5 days. So you might be rewarding some of these people. But yeah, I agree. It's not punitive enough.
Well, they're going to be losing all the specials as well.
Yeah, but
specials away. That's a
because this is telling what this is telling me, George. I'm going to watch this roll out, right? And then I'm going to be watching Banhammer, and I'm going to be checking out these players, and I'm going to see them come back in 3 days. You know what I mean? And so they've lost a couple of freaking turrets. And then I'm going to know, okay, hey, well, my buddy over here can sell me this hack for $25. And the only thing it's going to cost me, because I am a heavy coiner, the only thing I'm going to do is be kicked out of the game for 3 days. You know what I mean? That's not sending the right message to the community.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's not sending the right message. But what I'm saying is it feels like they're in a tenuous place.
Yep. Hence the negative 25 million base parts, because then you gotta either grind the hell out of base parts to get back, or you're gonna be waiting some days to get your shit back.
Yeah. It just seems like they're doing this, which is a positive thing. The penalty is not severe enough, but whatever. At least it's moving in the right direction, right? So we can move on, because we have like more slides than we've had in a long time. So
it's gonna be a long show.
Yeah.
Well, I've got back to presenting me.
Okay. They've also released a state of the game, summer state of the game. Was there a spring one? I think we missed one somewhere along the way. They're going to try and increase the quality of the game. And one of the big issues that players have seen is lag and game performance. And natively, Flash does not support graphics rendering by your video card, your GPU. It only does it with your CPU. And they're going to do some sort of magic and try to split the burden between your CPU, your main CPU on your motherboard and your video card, depending if you have a laptop or not. And hope that we see improvements in game performance. I don't think anybody can complain about it as long as it's pulled off correctly, right?
Yeah, if it works, great. If it doesn't work, oh boy.
Yeah.
What happened the last time we changed graphics and all that crap? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What is it that they're taking out?
They're not taking anything out. I mean, what they're trying to they're splitting the burden between your video card and your CPU. Because right now it's all on your CPU.
Padre, you got to put that microphone in front of your mouth, man.
All right.
That's better.
There we go. Much improved.
All right.
Another problem is the one that I've been bitching about for months and months and months and months, is the discrepancy between what stats indicate and how the items behave in the game. We've been talking about this a lot for what goes on in your base, I think every week.
For a long ass time.
Yeah.
For the first thing I want to see is the damn damage numbers be accurate, because like double this and then you have to divide by 2 and then divide by 2 again because you forgot to see how many hits it's going to take to kill somebody. Fix that shit.
Yeah, it needs to be more transparent, and everybody should have to have a spreadsheet to figure out what's actually going on in the game. And the last sentence is my favorite, considering that we've been pointing out a lot of them, not all of them that I'm aware of, but Therefore, we're correcting these discrepancies gradually as we identify them. I mean, if we figured out way more than they have, and we've constantly been talking about it, I think they should be aware of them, right?
Man, I have a laundry list that I've submitted. There's
There's
a lot of stuff.
so many discrepancies that if they were to say we're going to have them all fixed in a short amount of time, it would be impossible. There's probably so many discrepancies in the way things work in the game right now that it's not possible for them to get them all.
And they have to figure out how to fix it too, because like the additive stack on the turrets, I'm sure
I might have gone for it. Therefore, we're correcting these discrepancies gradually, or no, we're just correcting these discrepancies as resources allow, because it makes them look stupid to not realize they exist. But that's just my thought.
I think that the way they phrased it might mean that as they come across them, like the turret one's PvP, it's an issue right now. That's the one they're going to fix, right? So I don't know.
Yeah, but it's as we identify them. Okay, we can move on. No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. And oh my God, we're going to be slide 99 again.
Yeah, I don't know what the heck's going on here. You're going to have someone else present. Because I am just my laptop here is just going nuts.
How are you advancing from one slide to another?
He's trying to go back and forth between the friggin' clown porn and this. That's what his problem is.
No. For some reason, I had this problem start yesterday, to where like when I'm on forums trying to read forums, all of a sudden my scroll bar will just start scrolling down, and I don't know what's causing it.
Is this a sticky keyboard situation?
Yeah, it's probably his
too much porn.
It's still midget porn related.
Yeah, disable the damn touchpad.
How do I do that?
I'm not. After show, I'll tell you that in the after show. We're not going to do that during the show.
Someone else present, Hefe, because I just keep having this problem.
Somebody messaged me on the right-hand side if you want to present, and I will send you the link. But in the meantime, go back to the previous slides and just use that with your mouse if you have a chance. Currently, the most impactful issue is in PvP. The Tier 7 group bonus should be additive as stats indicated, but it's calculated multiplicatively.
Surprise, motherfuckers!
Well, except for the fact that they keep on forgetting to say that, fire supports work this way, and all this, there's huge parts of the game that are shown as additive, but they're actually multiplicative. And they really impact what the player sees, the player interaction with the game, and how they base decisions in the game are based on what's shown to them for the vast majority of the players, as opposed to the players that have a spreadsheet that's trying to figure out what's going on. And that's goes back up to the previous paragraph where we're correcting these discrepancies as we identify them. They should be well aware of that, but they never mention that fire support is multiplicative when it's actually it's shown as it is multiplicative, but it's shown as additive. So players felt ineffective attacking bases using any of the latest Conqueror halls. We are on it, and it's swung to the defend. This is not true either, and you're going to see this multiple times through here, where they think it's all about the defender side. It's about the defender side if somebody has all the technology.
For the top tier, for the top bases, it's on the defender side. For the level,
I would just prefer to say it is because if somebody missed one weekend, it's the people that have 8 tier 7 pen, 6 tier 7 ballistic. Those people are golden at this point in time until the next update. Because it's like Irf and I both don't have all of them. I'm one short. How many short are you, Irf?
I'm short 2 ballistic, 2 missile.
Okay. He's one worse than I am. And, Earth's been playing the game for a long time and hitting a lot of bases and whatnot. So I wouldn't put him as like the mid-level. It's just a matter of, missing a couple of days out of one bounty event or one raid event. It's then you're a farm as opposed to invincible. And that I wish that was better reflected in what they're talking about. It's the Fender has the advantage across the board, which I don't really see. It's just certain defenders that have all the technology.
Yeah, I agree because it's you can the difference between having one turret now can be the difference between you being flattened for like near enough 0 damage to the attacker's fleet, or to just being able to wipe out their fleet before they even get to the first corner. So it's kind of it's deflection, and it's all or nothing. It's my bugbear in the game is deflections broke it completely.
Yeah, when they do this, we're going to go back to death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah.
All the standard mid-level and low-level bases are still going to be nothing but farms. It's not going to help them in any way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? And they're more likely not going to get into any of the top bases anyways, even after this change. You know what I'm saying? And then the only real people that are going to be affected by this are your heavy coiners and your top tier players that have everything. And I'm sorry, but if I've got all the tech, if I spent the time and the money to have all the damn tech, then my base should be difficult to take. You know what I mean? And this is the death by 1,000 cuts is not difficult to take. You know what I'm saying?
Well, unless you spend even more on your guard fleet, but yeah. And probably a Conqueror guard fleet. Yeah, it's there's no vision from what I can see as far as how this is supposed to work. And there has not been a lot of communication that I'm aware of that shows what the vision is for what PvP is supposed to be. Is it supposed to be death by 1,000 cuts? Or is it supposed to be something else more tactical? And I think we'll get into that. If you can do one more slide, I think I sent the link to George so we can update. All right, one at a time. There we go. The second is how countermeasures should behave. This is what we were talking about with last week's update that dealt with both the accuracy of countermeasures being 100% added to them, combined with consistency associated with countermeasures that would shoot at multiple targets and how they would react, whether they would tag, meaning it would fire at an incoming projectile once and not fire at that projectile again, or not tag, meaning it would just keep on firing at a single projectile until it killed it. So basically the way it's going to work is missiles and rockets tag. So you only get one shot at a missile or a rocket, and you can get multiple shots at a mortar. And let's see, I'm going to Dr. Death. I'm switching over to George. There we go. And so any thoughts on that? This is stuff we talked about last week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just concerned of how they're going to fix the countermeasures, because that touches so many aspects of the game. You know, I would hope that they have that fixed.
Yeah, especially
George,
what was that?
Just remember to load up on Inferno Dragon tokens, yeah?
Oh, yeah. At how many million points?
Yeah, I'm just making sure because obviously when they change the countermeasures, you're going to have to refit your Inferno Dragon fleet again, aren't you?
I'm sure. I mean, they're already working funky as hell. Like I'm already having problems with countermeasures in the 117. Something's changed in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, my damage is up too. So yeah, I've seen it.
I am not a happy camper.
Okay. These corrections will have various impacts to individual players because everyone uses well, too many problems with that sentence. Doing our best to communicate our plans as early as possible, collect feedback, and roll out carefully. We have no intention to make players take more damage than stats indicated, and we welcome your feedback after the fixes.
I don't buy that.
Yeah, I mean, the grammar Nazis should be all over this whole paragraph, but
yeah,
I don't know. I don't buy the last sentence because since they've gone to this new mandatory damage path that they seem to be on in the game, I don't buy for one instance that they're not trying to make us to take more damage.
Well, what they're saying is this change in countermeasure accuracy and consistency, this part isn't supposed to do that, is the way I'm reading that.
But yet it's going to affect every aspect of the game. So we will be taking more damage in the FM. We'll take more damage in the raid. We'll take more damage in PvP when we're hitting bases. I mean, we're going to see this affect us across the board.
Yeah, unless they execute it properly, because my understanding, this change to countermeasures was done in order to fix some issue that I don't think the player has identified in base hitting. But now they're going to drag this whole thing into the PvE world because bases were too hard to hit. And everybody's aware of the reason that bases were too hard to hit was because of the tier 7 bonuses. The whole logic and the whole exposure they're creating by doing this, it doesn't make sense to me. This appears to be a risky path to me. Go ahead, George. I'm sorry.
Well, the accuracy bug is a global bug. So while we may, hopefully, if it rolls out the way that they're saying, we're not going to notice a difference in PvE targets. Now the catch is in PvP we will, on both sides, because if you're using countermeasures to avoid turrets and stuff, you're gonna feel it, right? Especially with the new mortar coming out. And from the defensive side, if you had built a certain way so you can avoid getting super splash hulls destroying you, you're gonna have a hard time the first week. And the thing is we have no idea how it's really gonna act until it gets rolled out, which is gonna be right before bounty, and then there's no time to react again.
Yeah, it's the timing. It shows a lack of
contextual understanding.
Yeah, and continuity with the game. Yeah, it shows a lack of understanding of what's going on in the game currently and what's happened historically, and how the players are going to deal with this. It shows a lot of issues to make these. It's good that they're telling us that these things are going to happen, but they should make these decisions like they should have either made them immediately or right after bounty. We're going to make this change. But they're going to probably
even a week. Because they've announced this 2-3 weeks out. If they could have implemented it within 2 weeks and given everybody a week to mess around and figure their stuff out before bounty, because bounty's pretty crucial for a lot of people.
Right, but without actually running the numbers for every single thing, you're not going to know how the results are going to actually be in game in a PvP environment, because there's nothing else that's getting adjusted in PvP with regard to the countermeasures. Whereas in the PvE one, they're going to be adjusting both the countermeasures and the targets.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
But now, do we think they're going to get that adjustment between the countermeasures and the targets correct?
Oh, well, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah. I think the trust and faith level is pretty low in the company right now as a whole. I do see some positive attempts being made on their part. This whole state of the game, like you said, is bigger than anything they've released in the last however long. since I've been looking, and they're definitely using verbiage that we've been stressing. Making an effort to communicate early so you can adjust for changes, making it, they're definitely trying to at least say what we want to hear. And that's great. And they're doing there's some action behind it, but we've got to see how they're able to implement it. And again,
they're using the
a lot
words
of these, especially in the PvP world. I don't know what kind of testing goes into it before they release it. But there certainly should be a good deal, especially when they're making some large changes like this. And I know they don't have a strictly PvP testing group, which I think would benefit them here a lot.
I think any testing for this, I don't know that they need a specific PvP one. You just need to know what's going to happen. Like, how far is this going to throw it off? And that's going to be more, I mean, honestly, that's going to be more someone that understands the mechanics and the numbers as well. I mean,
well, you're also going to need people that have built pretty nice PvP fleets, Mort fleets, other kinds of fleets, and see how they perform in the targets in a real world environment, like you've said. I think you need both types of people for PvP testing. Because honestly, personally, I don't pay attention to the numbers as close as some other people. I'll ask, or I'll, figure out on my own what the important thing is. But there are people that definitely go way further in depth than I care to look at the game, as far as figuring out stats and things. I've had people tell me all the numbers, and I'm like, look, here's what I want to know. How much over deflection is it? And that's it. That's the only number that really matters, at the end of the day. But back to the slide. Or the next slide. Are we done with this one?
Well, to be fair, that is the only kind of thing that does matter at the minute is how much over deflection something is. That's about it, really.
Yeah, that's the only number I care to know in PvP.
yeah, until they fix stuff, but that's a whole nother story. Well, Hefe's gone, so we go into the next one. Should we go to the next one? Let's go to the next one.
Yes.
State of the game. Reiterating everything that we already knew, because it really wasn't a state of the game. It was just stating everything that we were already told. Forsaken missions will allegedly have a dual purpose continuation of a dual purpose in the game, for getting new tech and catch up, as a catch up mechanic for other players, either returning to the game or in the game currently. The goal is that when a player returns to Battle Pirates, or hopefully as a new player as well, and doesn't have all the most recent tech, the FM is going to be the place to pick up a hull to hit the ground running, which is something that we've been saying for a long ass time. I still don't see it in the FM. I mean, you need a hull from each avenue of type, so that way you can get the resources, because now premium resources are not premium anymore. They're like just a necessity to keep playing. So there is that, and then, they use this as an example. Is in May they had, at the end of the siege cycle, they had the Ironclad and Cannoneer were added to prize pool 3 for players that didn't have the Buck or the Hydra, and then they could participate in some of the TLCs and get base parts from world map targets, etc., etc. This is stuff that should be in there, like the Buck and the Hydra. It's been 2 months. We already have another new hull out already for Siege, which I don't fucking understand at all why. But putting that aside, since that one's already out, I mean, these things should be starting to show up somewhere for players to catch up and get in and get on this, and not 6 months down the damn line.
Yeah, I think across the board, whenever it's something's, I agree. But also, anytime that you go from tier to tier, we got to tier 7 for a specific class, then it gets released automatically. Not just the hull, but the weapon and special associated with it.
I mean, if only we had something in game that you could, just kind of get into and build stuff. getting stuff on, from salvages so you could catch up. I mean, that sounds like such a great idea if we had something like that in the game. I mean, I'm just saying.
Well, here's the big question for that. If you're a new player or you're a returning player that's been out, say, for the last 2 years, right? How are you doing with them?
Oh, dude, that's a whole nother story. Yeah, the FM by itself, like in tier 1, you should have something so players can do the fucking FM. It's that simple. At some point, if I get some time, I'll probably take some punishers and see if I can't cobble something together. But again, just like when I did it with the Citadels, I'm going to try and limit it to what's in the FM, because you can't presume someone's going to have, stuff out of the 5th tier in FM to do their punishers to start. I mean, that's asinine. That's yeah. I'll eventually get to that. So then let's see. They've also added flagships for both the Icebreaker and Monolith. Flagships should be in there for everything. The Tideseeker should have its fucking flagship in there right now, like absolutely right now. Shouldn't even have to wait. In the prize pool, so you can improve your performance of your FM fleets. Yeah, all right, that's awesome. What tier level are the Icebreaker and Monolith in?
4, 5 or 6.
Yeah. How does that help? How does that help anybody improve their performance in the FM when no? And they would like to get a regular cadence to distribute catch-up hulls as well as the new components in Forsaken missions each month, with other venues to get more recent hulls such as TLCs and offers. Yeah, the offers, no. TLCs, yes, if you stop fucking tuning them for the newest shit, sure. And then catch-up hulls, put the shit in there. I mean, Tideseekers and their flag should be in there already. Apollos and their flag should be in there. All this older stuff should all already be in there, like now.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is part of the structure. Go ahead.
But why, we had the addition of the Foundry and nothing's ever happened. Why did you not just put?
You didn't catch my reference. You didn't catch my reference to the Foundry like 2 minutes ago.
I know, but it's just like you've got to fucking spell it out, don't you? To them because they just don't.
I thought it was pretty obvious that I was referencing the Foundry.
I didn't know, but I don't think I've ever used the Foundry. So there's that.
You filthy coiner, you.
Yeah. But the other point I was trying to make, as far as like once they go from tier 6 to tier 7 right now, the tier 6 stuff is within a class, skirmish or whatnot, that should automatically get pushed to one of the bottom 2 rungs in the FL, along with not just the halls, but the weapons and special and armor and whatever was associated with them at time of release. So it's a complete haul that a player can build, not just the haul, the whole kit and caboodle.
Yeah,
should be released at that point in time. And once and you could, and the other thing is, once it's 1 tier back, split the build time. Take a good fucking hard look at the repair times and make them what they are. Make the cost of them relative to what's going on in the game at that point in time. Because nobody's going to be like right now, I'm waiting for mana cores to come out so I can build my phoenixes for cheap. Nobody's doing that, right? It's the players trying to catch up in the game that are dealing with this. Players aren't going to wait a year just so they can build, they can build their hulls and their weapons, build the whole ship for half the time.
They had a good offer in my shop for Skyfires recently. $9 for 25 days.
Mm-hmm.
The Skyfires, a super relevant hull. But...
Yeah, but the thing is, if you're gonna do it and that's the venue is the offers, that's not free to play, that's pay to play now.
Yeah, no, it is. But I already pay to play, so
right. But it should be an option, a choice, not a necessity.
Right. There should be a way for a player to grind to get that stuff. and become relevant in the game. And right now, that's not available. They can throw all the freaking holes into the FM they want, but it's not going to do any good if they can't hit the FM. And then if they don't put the weapons and specials that go with the hole in the FM, then what good's the hole going to be if you can't put the right weapons and specials on it?
And the thing is, too, is if they're going to put the stuff in the FM, you know, with the reduction in tokens that we're getting overall, put some fucking hull specific tokens in then for people that are getting the older stuff, because they're or I should actually say both. Do it concurrently. Put in tokens that are hull specific and also cut the damn build time down. Apollo should take like 6 hours tops to build a blank hull, not whatever the hell it is now.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. As far as, and you know, split it in half at least on the first, you know, the weapon, special, armor, whatever was released is that as far as that kit. Split it at least in half for the build times, and then take a really good look at the repair times, just so people aren't going out and sending stuff and autoing it. But you should reduce the repair times if it's a tier off. If it's older technology, because you see some of the stuff where it's like the build times are crazy, and like, oh well, you can go get tokens in the FM for build tokens, but why not just simply slash the price of all the stuff associated with it?
Well, the build tokens in the FM aren't really, like, you can't use that as an excuse, because if you're sitting there trying to build fucking Punishers or whatever that, like, if you're trying to build something other than top tier crap, that's not what you want to waste those tokens on. You know, you're trying to catch up. You're not relevant yet. What the hell? Yeah. You know, and that's part of the biggest part of the game being so successful in the past is, one, PvP was fun, and there was multiple aspects of PvP. I mean, you don't see, you know, 50, 60, 70 fleets going into the next sector to fight another 50, 60, 70 fleets. That's dead. That's gone. But you also felt relevant to everyone else. Even if you were like right before the gauntlet, everyone did the gauntlet. Everyone knew what the gauntlet was. You know, around 24 to 29, you were fucked. Right? But it was only 5 levels. It wasn't from like level 50 to 100 that you were fucked. And you knew that you were coming out of that, and then you were going to actually be there, right? And you felt the relevance going from even when you hit 20 and you knew the gauntlet was coming and everyone was telling you how shitty it was going to be and you're going to get farmed and awesome. You knew it was coming and you knew it was going to be short-lived. And then you were going to be on a sort of level playing field. One, because tech wasn't coming out at such a breakneck speed, and two, because I mean there was a chance to be, you know, relevant to your peers, and everyone was going through it all at the same time. You know, the way that the game is now, you just don't have that anymore, which kind of takes away from a lot of the fun of it. Because I know Padre's not going to fucking want to go and hit like 500 level 50 bases. The hell, he's going to be bored out of his tits. So I don't know. There, like I said before.
PvP we were actually talking about a special extra show that we would do on Thursdays, where Padre was going to go out and hit level 50 to 60s, and you know, it would have been a fun show, don't you think, Padre? And George ruined that idea.
Yeah, well, I mean, but the thing is, you know, there's far more wrong with PvP than just the turrets. That's just taking away the you know, patina off of the problem, so to speak.
Yeah, you want to click one more time since we're talking PvP?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
PvP. So a fun PvP experience is built on a balanced economy. Okay. Sort of yes and sort of no. There's a little bit more complexity there than that. And then there's short-term problems that they need to resolve to get there. Yes, well, duh. I mean, surprise. I think we've known this for a while. The short-term fixes have largely been announced to us. Not really, because
largely,
I don't know. No. I think the only thing that they've actually said to us is that they're going to fix the stacking issue, which is great. But the problem then is that's going to bring us back to whatever their intent was for the balance in the first place, which is fine. But then we have 2 turrets that we missed in Bounty, right? Because they took those out. We missed the other turrets that they had initially in there that they took out. And then we have a new explosive turret coming out that hasn't really looked all that great numbers wise yet, unless I rushed through it real fast before this. Where are those other turrets? Because if you're going to do this to the turrets, you're going to have to get us to the point that you had intended originally now, which means there should be a whole bunch more turrets available in the raid. So what's going on? Because you sure as shit ain't going to put them in the next bounty, because the next bounty is going to be like a slaughter fest everywhere. So I'm not sure what, that's not really largely been announced to us. I think they've, like I said, they've touched on the patina of the problem, nothing else. I mean, they just scratched the surface.
But that second paragraph,
they're addressing serious. Go ahead.
They don't seem to understand. They say multiple times defenders are too strong, and that's not the situation. There's an imbalance associated with defenders, and they don't seem to think that. I'm not sure who they're talking to. Because like I said earlier, and we've said multiple times, there's been longtime players that were very engaged in PvP that you might miss a weekend. Your base is not strong.
Yeah, they have their context, their contextual reference is very poor here, because it's in certain instances that the defenders are too strong. If you have X amount of turrets, if you have this, if you have that, yes, absolutely, there's a problem. Mid-level players are still getting absolutely rolling on the floor, laughing, stomped by these tier 7 conquerors. So they talk about the same things that we've talked about, but this isn't really short-term fixes for PvP. Like the consistency of countermeasures is not something that is a short-term fix. That's actually going to cause more problems. It's not a fix. Fixing the turret stack is the start to taking a look at what's really wrong with PvP. It is not a fix. It's not a fix.
No,
it's not.
A bug. When they do the countermeasure and they do this to the turrets, everybody's gonna be a farm again. It's gonna be death by 1,000 cuts.
And they said right here where it says we're releasing the explosive turret to help balance out base defenses. Oh, son of a bitch, motherfucker!
Oh my god, you've been hanging out with Dr. Jeff.
I was trying to highlight the damn thing. Fucking went to the next slide. So we're releasing the explosive turret to help balance out the base defenses. Yeah, okay, that's all well and good, but that turret does what? 60,000 on 3 salvos. So that's 20,000 damage with Zinth shells. It goes up to like 34. And then the ATT, it's 46, and then
we're gonna get that. We're gonna call it the explosive.
Well, hold on. I mean, here's the thing. So it's it is. It's going to be like that, because on a critical hit, it's going to be a whopping like 507,000 damage. Big fucking whoop. I believe a lot of the original tier 7 weapons gave us. Oh yeah, that's right. Explosive freaking resistance. Deflection. So you're going to be concentrating on the radioactive deflection on this. Surprise. But it's not. That's not really helping balance out the damn defenses. It's just one tool, and we still have the other 2 that were supposed to be out in bounty that you didn't put out because you went, oh shit, this is fucked up. So PvP has swung way too far in favor of defense. Only in the bastards that all have all the turrets and can screw you when you come in, like my base right now, which is going to be a farm starting in bounty. And these changes swing the pendulum in the other direction, way too much in the other direction. Again, we're going to have a massive pendulum swing. It's something that we've been complaining about for so fucking long. And here we are again. In the long term, we will reveal content release plan. I believe there should be an in there somewhere. We will reveal a content release plan that continues to serve the balanced economy of PvP space. Man, you got to get the fucking economy balanced first. You can't continue to balance shit if it's not balanced. Just saying.
Yeah. I mean, in reality, they should have released all of the PvP in the raid. They should have released all of the PvP or all the turrets and not changed the limits. In my opinion, I mean that would allow players to catch up. That like I said, might have missed a weekend or whatnot, made the limit, but not change the total limit, not change the game. Allow players to catch up.
What they really, really should have done, and this should have been done like way back in January, release shit in pairs and on a tree. So you have to choose between what you're going to pick and where you're going to go and what you're going to, your plan's going to be for PvP. And then that way you have a massive diversity in the game rather than this bullshit that we have now.
Yeah. And the other thing is, like, never mind. I mean, I keep on bringing up the fact that, because they're mentioning the explosive turret at this point. And again, the tier 7 bonus is damage as opposed to some other aspects. So it's not a standalone.
I don't think they're. I think they're just too far down that rabbit hole. They're not going to even look at changing that. It might change when we get the tier 8 stuff, but I don't think you're going to see that change going forward in tier 7.
When there's like 4 people left playing. I mean, it's just in a deflection environment. In the deflection environment, it's just not a good move.
Nope.
Well, the deflection environment's the problem. It's binary, and the PvP should never be binary.
Yep.
What I'm saying is they're exacerbating it by making it the tier 7 damage. That's exacerbating that problem. We're
already there. Hefe, we're already there. I mean, that's it's already done. You know what I mean? So at this point, either they have to just kill all the tier 7 stuff and
stuff to over damage instead.
That's probably what they're going to do. I mean, that's my guess. I think that's why that came out in the first place. So the last part of this, while PvE will always remain a big part of Battle Pirate's bottom line, PvP is also where fun could be. Yeah, it could be.
Where the fun is.
You like that? You like that, didn't you? You caught that. I'm glad someone caught that. So the fun used to be there. It used to be like the really big fun of the game, and I'm not entirely sure exactly why. Well, no, actually I do know. They tried to fucking monetize it, and they shouldn't, because the fun monetizes itself. If you're having fun, you're gonna spend. I mean, ask Padre. This motherfucker, when he has fun, will spend. When he doesn't, he's not gonna. Shocker. Right, Padre?
That is accurate.
See, I mean, it's really simple. It's not that difficult of a concept to fucking understand. You're having fun, you're gonna put in some more money. I mean, that's over the years, PvP has become an exclusive and niche experience because we don't know how to balance a fucking thing. And in the coming months, we're going to be working to make PvP more engaging, more rewarding, and more exciting, and hopefully monetize it to high heaven and make some money. Eventually, it would be. What the fuck? Eventually,
eventually
summarize it. Don't read it.
Go to the future.
It's harder. It's harder that way.
It could be the experience for a broader player base. I mean, I need to start writing this crap, honestly. And you know what? It should be for a broader player base. In the past, if you were mid-level, you could hit other fucking mid-levels. There wasn't something in the game like the tier 7 stacking bonus stuff that would completely throw out your ability to hit your peers. And right now, you cannot do that, because if they even have a couple of these things and you're trying to, I mean, yeah, no, it's completely fucked. And that's why I said the turret thing is just the scratching of the surface. There's so much wrong with PvP that they have to actually have someone come in that knows and understands the past history, how it should be, how it's been, what fucking worked and what didn't work, and stop repeating the same fucking mistakes.
Yep, that's true. I mean, and also you can't make it rain in a nunnery. You're not going to have any fun, are you, Padre?
No, not at all.
Okay. Should we move on? Because we're only like, how many slides? We haven't even got to the raid.
I don't even fucking know. State of the game. Yeah, who fucking cares? Can we skip this? I mean, yeah, there's an app. It's not as good as the other one. They're going to do. I mean, do you want me to summarize this one real quick? Or do you want to do it?
Sure. I mean, currently, I'm assuming most players have the BPHQ on their phone. They're basically going to add couple of things to allow you to hit additional targets, like, I'm assuming that's what blitz support means. speed up. It's they're just adding different things to speed up repair. Add stuff to the base. It's still going to be an auto type of game, and they haven't excelled at this point, at least in this raid cycle, with an auto game at this point, which I consider that to be one of the problems. They're doing one thing with the left hand, with the right hand doesn't know what it's doing.
Yeah, the that last line actually should. I think you misspelled monetization support. It looks like
I didn't spell it. I mean, I just copied and pasted. I copied and pasted this. I didn't write it this.
Okay. Yeah, because a lot of what they're adding on this app, like the speed up ship build and ship refits and speed up repairs, that's all things they're adding so that they can get people to spend coin.
And we had this issue at some point last year where everybody felt like they were getting nickel and dimed, and people just stopped coining and stopped playing. And I think, again, they're repeating a mistake that they haven't quite learned the lesson from. You can't force monetization. You can look at the numbers and go, oh, look, this made us money. Awesome. You don't go then and go, okay, well, this is what we did. This is what we should do to make more money. You try and understand why you had success doing that and take the fundamental idea behind that and repeat it. Not try and do just a freaking formulaic crap and throw it out in the game because people are going to be like, oh, I'm fucking bored. This is stupid. I'm just saying. Psychology is a bitch. Did we lose Hefe?
Yep.
Let's get another beer, right?
We did? Well, son of a bitch. So, all right. So they have fuck this. We got the raid. Reinforced. I'm not sure who's getting reinforced or what, or, if Harlock needs some reinforcements for this whole, foursome thing going on, but whatever.
I think what's being reinforced is Kick Size hoping to reinforce their bank account.
Yeah, I think they're going about it the wrong way. I mean, people have fun, they spend money. It's really, really simple.
How long have you been saying that, George?
Blizzard figured it the hell out. I mean, they got people. Oh, geez, I don't even want to. If I start drawing comparisons, shit. All right, so we have targets. We have 2 fucking raid targets for the tier 8 one. Surprise! And and you get 5 million for a completion bonus. I think we've been complaining about the lopsided completion bonus forever and a half, so I don't know if we should say it again. Clearly, Kicksai's not listening, even though they want our feedback, right? Didn't they say that? Did we already do that in one of the slides?
Well, how much, George, how much do you want to bet that those 2 different targets are going to perform differently based on
one's going to be for Scatters?
I don't think so. I think from what I saw last month, scatters are they just don't know what the fuck to do for an auto hull. I think it's still going to perform like shit again this month and probably in both targets. I think the missile hull is going to be the way to go, and unfortunately I don't have one built. I think I'm on my second. I got the flag done and 2 the second blank's going to be out today, tomorrow, something like that. But then
refit mine to missiles.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to get caught halfway through, and of course, there's a fucking CIC that would have fixed that for me, but we didn't know ahead of time. We knew 2 days before the raid, day before the raid. Yeah, fuck yeah, awesome. So, I'm stuck building 2 damn fleets now, and then so. So tier 8, 2 targets, 100 and 102, both of them pay out 2.5 million. What do I want to call this? I don't want to call it bullshit. That's not forceful enough. In each one of these targets, you will get, and I'm not even sure, did anyone know or find out if it was a guaranteed drop for these shards?
For which?
In each of the S targets, there's going to be a shard drop.
Chromium armor or reactive armor.
Right.
Yeah.
So in the 100,
it's going to be guaranteed, but I'm assuming it says that drops 1 shard.
It better be a fucking guaranteed. Anyway, so for each target you're going to hit, hopefully, you're going to get 1 shard for each completion. So that's going to be 1 shard for the chromium armor for each 100 that you hit or complete, and 1 shard for the reinforced reactive armor for each one that you complete. You need 5 shards to get 1 blueprint. Yay. Yeah. Given how many points we need in this raid, you're going to probably get them somehow. And only mana cores are allowed in these targets. That's it. No flags, no nothing unless it's a mana core flag. The A set, you can still use your KDs. I think that's going to stay for the entire raid set. I think we're just going to see really high requirements for points. So if you're going to be grinding through this, awesome, but you're going to be grinding even with that, top tier level 99 hull, which is kind of shitty. But I'm sure they couldn't balance these 2 targets for the KDs.
But
so
just think, because of the amount of points that you need, you're going to have a chance to be on the leaderboard.
Oh yeah, because the people that have the KDs are going to already be there. I'm not going to touch that.
Well, let's go back. Did we bring up that we're seeing a new target?
Yep. Covered that. Covered the lopsided completion bonus bullshit again. Covered the drops for the armors.
Okay.
So then.
Oh, and that's a new thing.
Which?
I'm sorry, go back. That. Okay, at least rank 12. Okay, what is recommended? I'm sorry, it wasn't required.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So then we have the tier 6. Actually, the one thing, I did forget one thing on this. We're actually in the tier 7. We now have 3 targets, not 2. So
yeah, that's what I was asking. Yeah.
Yeah.
The 85 is new.
I did forget that one. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the 85 is a new target that we have yet to see. A lot of people with 4 mana cores were able to do the 81 fairly well, but the 83 was about double to triple the damage of the 81. At least for me, it was. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with the 85.
Well, actually, Rum, you had your you were using your Manticore. I'm not Manticore. Fucking Katie's in the last raid, right?
Yep.
How did it do in the 81 and 83?
No difference. Killed everything.
Yeah.
For literally low damage. Did you back those up with Manticores, or did you just auto on the damn things?
When I got tired of doing them with the KDs only, I backed them up with Manticores that I had. I used the missile in there, and it would, it shielded them. They didn't take any damage, so it was the way to go. I'll be doing the same thing. My plan is to run through the tier 7, get enough to get the new CIC. Then I'll refit that new CIC wherever I need to, and run 1 fleet to go to the S target.
Perfect. Okay.
Now, since we know that Kixeye has an aversion to players being able to do things for free, and we know that the KDs was the big free for all last raid. How many people are going to be flipping tables if that 85 target
kills the KDs?
Yeah, because that's what I think is going to happen.
Well, I kind of expected as well.
Here's the thing. The last time we had a problem with a capital hull was the Ghost Crawler. And while they made it more difficult, the problem was that you were getting out and doing it for free no matter what, right? And then they made it more difficult, but you could still do it. I think if they do that, backing them up with the mana cores like Rum had done, I think you should be able to pull it off. Because I can't see. Anything that's gonna kill the KDs is gonna just completely fuck up mana cores.
Yeah.
So either they've already blocked it from the S target. I think the counterpoint to this is that 5 million completion bonus for the S set.
Oh
because now you're talking 10 million for 2 targets as opposed to
3 million.
3 million for 3 targets. So that I think is how they did the balancing there, is that they're just gonna be like, yeah, you motherfuckers want to use the KDs, you're gonna grind, which is shitty because it was a pain in the ass to get and build, but it's kind of expected, I guess.
You know what? Free is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you get the time to grind, it's gonna be
free is fun.
So then we have, let's see, tier 6. We have 3 targets, completion bonus 450,000. I think this is all the same as last time.
Yeah, this is the same. Yeah,
and, hit down multipliers on both of them again.
Well, they dropped the hit ton multipliers last time during the.
I thought they just they reduced them. They didn't remove them completely, correct?
Well, I'm not sure. I wasn't hitting them, but yeah, they said they reduced them. Does anybody know by what percentage? Because people were getting way more.
I don't know.
I'm not certain, but yeah. And I dropped the blitz targets. You want to talk about the blitz targets, Padre?
No.
Yeah, hold on a second.
Oh, you don't have them on here at all.
Did you guys mention the fact that you could win a Katie's?
Not yet. We haven't
Like
gotten
a
there
lot.
yet.
Yeah, I was tempted not to even talk about that, but
Well, sure.
I left it for the last slide
Okay.
because I think it's completely weird. But yeah, we'll get into that.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, we'll get to it.
Okay, yeah, it's the last slide.
All right. Do you want me to go to the next slide?
Sure, go for it.
Okay. So then, oh yeah, we have another siege hull. Didn't we just finish siege raid like fucking a month and a half ago?
Woohoo! New toy.
Yeah.
I mean,
this is our third
what?
siege hall in
6 months.
4 months. I think 5 months. Yeah, less than 6 months. But this is our third one.
So
Yeah,
what happened to our stuff lasting for a year and no escalation and yeah. And the more the concern that I have with this more is with the tuning that's going to happen for TLCs going forward, and then the next raid set. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The TLC. Yeah, I mean, both of them are a huge concern for me as far as are you not going to be able to do the last part of a TLC because we've yet to see a siege TLC. Since that raid cycle ended, where we use our, besides some, some silly ones.
Well, how about it being a flagship without being a flagship?
It's not a flagship. Where's the flagship?
That's what I say, but it's a flagship because it gives boosts to other flagships.
Well,
that was
pretty much
special. Yeah, the special abilities.
That was typically reserved for flagships, but now we have a boat that you can add to just about anything, and it'll help it.
Well, a while ago that was reserved for flagships, but recently, the last couple of years, we've had stacking bonuses for ships for a while.
I guess we should
the Tide Seeker, going way back.
Yeah, I guess we should be happy they didn't decide to do it in CIC and we can just get just the hull to build. But damn. Now, if it works like the prototype where you co-op and someone comes in with the other set of fleets, because the Hunter and the prototype together are just walking the new dubs.
Don't say that too loudly; they'll change.
Speaking of which, they already know.
Yeah, they know. Wait a minute, what's going on here?
Actually, speaking of which, I need somebody in my world to hop in, get me some uranium. Anyway, so yeah, this is kind of cool. It has no wait, what was I supposed to say? Pretty neat, pretty cool. Fuck, I can't remember.
Pretty cool is what you're supposed to say. Yeah,
pretty cool. This is pretty cool. We have a combat speed of 30, turn speed of 40. Yeah, structure deflection of 2,000. That's interesting. The 25,000 structure DPS is very interesting. But then these bonuses right here, because we have an aura cap of 5, this is really interesting, especially these two right here. Because I'm wondering if that's high enough where you can start playing with specials. You know what I mean? Especially if you co-op with another fleet of these.
Well, not another fleet of these, but another fleet of something that's mixed. Because this has an aura cap of 5. But does this aura cap impact the auras of a Boon or a Hydra or whatnot? They're stacking bonuses. So then you need to combine half and half. So you don't exceed the aura cap of 5. Sort of like you were talking about, with the Hunters and the Prototype Seekers. This is the same sort of deal where it's boosting these things. But now we can get to we're not really getting to an aura cap of 10, but we're effectively getting to an aura cap of 10.
Yeah, because it's two different stacks.
2 different auras.
So, yeah. So that's going to make it, if you can co-op, co-op's the way to go with somebody that has one of these fleets. So Padre, when you coin these, let me know so I can, get like free crap.
Well, I'm interested. There is one new stat in there that I'm interested in, and that's that negative
negative 20 weapon weight. Yeah, that's an interesting one that we haven't really seen before. Where I'm assuming, strip the weapon weight off, just to prevent players from putting this on Buccaneers or Hydras or whatnot.
Not that one. Why didn't you put this next? That would make sense, because this fat motherfucker is why you need that.
Yeah, okay.
Because the weapon weight minus 20% on top of whatever you already get for your R&D, right? We'll go back to the special, because this fat motherfucker is, 1,260 tons of pop. And then we also don't know how does that reduction stack, because multiplicative, additive. I mean, how are we going to do this? We don't know.
And is it going to show correctly? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't have to show correctly, otherwise you won't be able to do the build, right? Yep. I guess we could figure that out now, couldn't we?
I'm not even going to mess with it. It's not even in the game, is it?
Well, it's in the shipyard.
I don't think so.
No, it was after they did a late update today. Because, I realized at certain points that some of the stuff is not, like, I double checked, like Cannon System 5. I realized it's, at least last time I checked, it's not in the retro app. And I don't even have my Cannon System 4 up to R15. It's close. It's R13.
I don't see any of it in the game right now. I don't see the hull. I don't see anything.
Unless they pulled it, I can't pull it up at this point. But earlier on, I was able to look at. That's how I'm getting these build times and whatnot. Like the build time of 8 hours.
Let's see.
Yeah, it's in the shipyard. It's in the shipyard.
Yeah, 1,260 tons. Yeah, it's in the shipyard. What were we checking now?
Well, whether it's, we're not. Well, originally when it was released, unless they changed it, I've checked all this stuff, and this one's not this isn't the one that worries me the most. But none of the new specials appear to be in the retrofit yard. You can't, the retro yard.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah. So, all right. So, Cannon System 5. I like it. I kind of am annoyed because if I wanted to use this on my, Boone and anything else, the Bucks, I'm gonna have to refit a fucking fleet that I just, finished refitting for a raid and is like a couple months old. Yeah, escalation. I thought we weren't having escalation again, but anyway. So good special.
No, we're having an escalation, but I don't think we're having it yet. But yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But it's backwards compatible. If you take a look at the weapon weight, it's gone from Cannon System 4 was plus 45%.
Oh, and one. Sorry.
Yeah, it's backwards compatible. Cannon System 4 was plus 45% weapon weight, while Cannon System 5 is plus 35%. So you're losing 10% weight by making this change, making it more affordable to add in. Now you can push the button.
Yeah, well, there it is. The pack 2
added some fatties.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it gives you more opportunity to make some changes if you're willing to do that. Because now you've lost weight. But look at the build time of that motherfucker. Flip back. It's 18 hours for this cannon. 18 hours plus. Go back to the hull. 2 clicks back. 10 hours. Okay. So everybody knows the hull is 10 hours. Each weapon you put on is 18 hours.
Yeah.
So just so everybody knows. Yeah.
That's a little bit fucking, oh my Lord.
It's going with what Kicksai's been doing. You know, they've been trying to increase build times. So they're on one hand, they're going to be able to say, hey, we reduced build times for you and took the whole down to 10 hours. But hey, guess what? You're still going to take as long to build it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they know we're not that stupid. Now this thing I wish was out fucking at the beginning of this whole series, because this would have changed. This right here, I have a completely different build in mind now for the entire fleet that will take advantage and hence, dare I say, exploit some mechanics on this thing. But yeah, I'm not going to be able to build this unless I get a fuck ton of tokens, and that's probably going to be sometime next year. So, oh well, would have been nice.
And I titled it "Where's the Mine Layer?" because we were told that there was going to be a mine layer.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Well, I think this corrects, the issue that you couldn't stack. If you had a mixed fleet, you couldn't stack them; they wouldn't drive right.
Yeah, it slows to match the fleet combat speed.
What's the build time on it? You didn't put it on this one.
Because for some reason, because I could only put it on certain things. It's long. I think it's well over a day. I forget, because it's like never mind. It's complicated, but yeah, I couldn't put it on what I normally use to show build time, but it's well over a day. I'm not even sure.
Aura cap of 3 is interesting.
Yeah. I just found out. I was trying to figure that one out as well.
4 days 10 hours to 6 days 2 hours. Whatever the difference is, that's the build time.
Yeah, so it's shy of 2 days. Yeah, it's long.
A day and 12 hours? Some shit like that. Day and 22 hours. Shit. That's a long ass build time. Yeah, so duplicate aura cap of 3. You actually technically only need one of them in the fleet to get everything to match speed, but this son of a bitch right there, that adds another 30 seconds of berserk duration. Holy crap. Do I have ideas? Because now you can mix stuff and you can do all sorts of funky crap.
Okay. So the way this works is it doesn't have a berserk duration associated with the stats. It's just adding to berserk duration, right?
Yep. Correct.
Okay. Because otherwise I was going to get confused. Like, well, is this controlling all the fleet's speed go under some sort of berserk type of mode where it's 10 seconds on, whatever. I mean, dealt with that, but you understand what I'm saying, right?
Yep.
But yeah, plus 10 seconds. Yeah, that makes it a little bit different. But yeah, I haven't looked at this one.
That's if Kicksai put it in right. Is it going to be additive or multiplicative?
No, that's a plus 10 seconds. That's just plus 10 seconds.
So this matches the slowest hull, right?
Correct.
Sort of like that one Avenger hull.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So this
is well, that's why we have all those fucking limited bullshit. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So yeah, the CIC is cool. I like it. It makes for some very interesting ideas and possible builds. So now we have, I can see a couple of different builds that would probably work using this, and this really should have been out like with the other ones first. I think it would have saved a lot of angst with people building, because this will actually, you could not get caught in between everything. Now this is where it gets interesting. This is why where is, oh, there it is, combat speed right there.
Yeah. On the left hand side is the cheetah.
Yeah. And
on the right hand side is the Panthera. If you take a look, the only difference is a bonus combat speed of 5% for the cheetah and +4 corrosive defense for the Panthera.
Yep.
And as everybody knows, Panthera is a genus of big cats. It includes lions and panthers and whatnot. But I'm not even going to say it. Everybody knows what I'm going to say.
Yep.
So,
yeah. So anyway, the problem I have with this is, everything's the same. It's not technically escalation. However, if you want to,
that's my issue. That's the big point I want to put out. I don't think this is the escalation step. This is like something in between.
Well,
this is
not
our
catch.
escalation weapon.
Here's the catch. If you had played the target, or especially if you autoed the target, one of the things that you noticed was that most of your damage was coming when you were chasing the fleet, right? Now, the loss of that defense is probably going to be more than made up for with the speed that you get from each one of these things that you add on, okay? The only problem with that is that you need to fucking have all of them, and they're limited. I have no idea why this is a limited.
You can get what, 30 of them?
I don't know. I don't care. I mean, the thing is, it shouldn't be fucking limited.
To get everything from
both.
Yeah.
It should not be a limited fucking blueprint. I mean, neither one of these things.
If it was gonna be limited, change the build times. These build times are
it's still the build time is still friggin' outrageous. 12 hours there.
These are the same exact build times as the original ones, and they're not adding that much, and they're getting released so quickly. I'm not loving the way that they release this. Just to say,
because the refits are bullshit. You didn't put the other one on the missile? Oh, no, you didn't. Okay.
What? What are you doing there?
You know how you did the 2 on the scattergun?
For the comparison.
Yeah. It's the same. Yeah, it's the same thing on this one.
Yeah, that's why I didn't do it, because it's the same. It's the same exact stuff.
And the thing is, it's still, again, damn limited. And I mean, this is another issue where they should have learned their lesson. Players do not like limited shit. They really don't like it when it kind of crimps their build styles, because now you're like, hey, guess what? You have to get all this shit if you want to build what you want to build in your brain. And yeah, that's not going to happen, because
that's a lot of points for both of those.
And it's a lot. It's a huge amount of build time. I mean, across a fleet of 5, this is massive. I mean, even, you put 1 on each, and you're, like 2, we're talking a week to put 2 on each ship, and to increase your bonus by combat speed by 10%.
Not even. Yeah. I mean, it's just, this is just stupid.
I'm not getting those for the targets. I have a different strategy.
Yeah, I wasn't even going to comment on that one. See, don't fucking, stop.
No.
Anyway.
They're going to be really good for getting resources on the map.
That's on
my Skyfighters now that I bought that 9.
Just as everybody should notice, it wasn't class limited, right?
That's what
you can put it on your Skyfires and run stuff all day. I know people are going to be messaging me about what genius I am.
And then we have the.
Did you skip one?
No.
Okay, I thought I put them in a different order. Okay, no, you didn't. Okay, go ahead.
So limited. I know, what the hell, shit. So limited armor special, which, I don't know why in the fuck it's limited, because it makes no damn sense, especially with a big ass build time. And then, I mean, this is good. The armor weight is lower than other specials.
Yes. Instead of 14, yeah.
Yeah, this is okay because it's it's our first corrosive one, right? That does straight up corrosive, which is it's pretty cool. But then we have this motherfucker that makes no real sense because this. What the hell? Yeah, I mean, you save some armor weight, you get a couple, deflection, but
which is minimal relative to the. And this is one of the ones I talked about earlier. This is not in your retro lab at this point, and I assume that was a mistake. I mean, it would make sense if they both had the same penetrating defense.
Active start off as, because I don't remember. I mean, I've got mine 15, but
it starts at 66 as well.
Oh, okay, so cool. We can basically use coin and get the exact same special and then wait to retro it so it'll be the same.
Yep. And it's limited, so for each one that you want to build, you got to get one. So, this whole thing is
specials is you got to get the blueprint.
Say that again.
This one's
Aren't these the
shards
two
from the
specials that
T8
you have to
targets.
start with?
Oh yeah, this is the one from the targets. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
in
now
order
you
to
got to
get-
complete just to get one blueprint. You're going to have to kill 5 S targets.
of
Yeah,
the 100
spend a
or the
shitload of
102.
points.
Yep.
Yeah, or a shitload of points. And
Can you buy them too?
You can buy them too, and it's
Oh
expensive.
Jesus!
And it's 27 hours
What the fuck?
to build it, assuming we're not even calculating in what it takes to take off your existing armor special. So we're probably talking 30 plus hours in order to put this on.
I mean, yeah.
And it doesn't make
You're back
a lot
up.
of
You're
sense.
back up to ship builds close to 60 days for a
Yeah.
regular boat.
Yeah, this is just bull. This is just shit. This is all. I'm
So
just
much for
getting
them
pissed.
wanting to communicate with us and help us out, right?
Yeah, I mean, they wanted our feedback. Like I've been telling everyone, go onto the forums and give them your feedback. Don't just cuss shit and say this sucks or do that. Like say, hey, look, no damn tokens in the raid. That's bad because, and express why it's bad, right? And maybe possible solutions that'll benefit everybody.
You're saying constructive criticism is better
Yes.
than just dog cussing the hell out of them?
I mean, that's what I'm told. Yeah.
Oh.
No, just say you fucking suck and just walk
I
away. I think that's the best way to work with
I don't
that.
know how to even operate.
Yeah.
So,
My
we
forum
have,
posting consists of finding new games like Amazon.
yeah. What the fuck is this limited to?
Maybe I'm wrong on that one.
I thought that
I
was
was just,
special.
I've never seen a limited base
it
special.
probably, yeah, it's probably not. I was just
Wouldn't
I was getting irritated putting this,
The limited. Yeah. Well,
stuff
fuck. I'm
together.
irritated too and shit.
And yet you can rank this one.
It's in the retro lab.
Yeah, you can. This is the retro lab, but it's not a huge.
It's 10%.
It's not a huge.
13.
Yeah, it's not a huge boon to You get some explosive damage, but it probably
A little bit of splash.
I mean, yeah, but it's probably once everything's finished and everything's done, it's probably enough to get through deflection at some point along the way.
With
the
next,
that's the way I think.
With the next explosive turret, because it ain't gonna happen with this one.
Yeah.
Well, we also
Yeah.
got to see what that special is going to be allowed to stack with, because I noticed something after today's update. I was looking at Eruption Pyre, and all of a sudden they've added an explosive damage stat to her Eruption Pyre, which never had explosive damage. And the stat says it gives 0, but the fact that they added it to the blueprint makes me wonder if there's going to be some stacking issues.
Probably. There's a lot of dumb stacking things going on, like on ships, like what is it, that napalm special that takes out a whole lot of stuff that it shouldn't. You can't even put high explosive rounds for ballistic and that one together. Like, why? There's literally no overlap.
I'm not even gonna comment.
So, it wouldn't surprise me.
Eruption Pyre always had that explosive damage on it.
Did it?
It was a negative. Yeah, it was a negative amount until you retroed it, and it retroed from the negative amount to 0.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it was like the fuck slide loader. Is that what the other one was? Yeah, because when it first came out, it was like slide loaders where you lost explosive damage. Yep. So that's always been in there. But so this one, just real quick off the cuff type of the damages, I think I said earlier, was something like 500,000 on a critical hit, which really kind of sucks. Now the interesting part is this. I think this is the interesting part of the turret, because this ain't going to do shit for you right now. Not on anybody that's built a half decent hull. Yeah, and PvP stuff I don't want to get too far into. Otherwise, my boss might kick me in the ass. So.
Oh no, I can't reach all the way to there.
So you're limited to 2 for these, just like the other ones. The thing that I'm kind of concerned is that we're not seeing the other hulls that were in Bounty, and where they're changing the the turret stacking, I mean, I think we really, really needed to see more than just this in the raid, because this is not going to do whatever the fuck he said, another slide balance anything for shit. Here's the epic.
I would recommend that anybody who has the points to get it gets it.
Oh yeah, no, you're going to definitely want the stack. I mean, the duplicate cap is still going to be needed, I'm sure. But so comparing it to the Epic Cat, projectile speed's a little bit down. The splash is way the hell down. This is going to be really interesting. The spread's not that much of a difference. The anti-mortar evasion is a little bit lower, which is interesting. We would hope that that was higher, especially given our old one. And then the damage is still, I mean, it is about double, right? Yeah, it's doubled, almost doubled. But it's still only 20,000 per projectile. And in this atmosphere for PvP, that's what really counts, is per projectile damage. Now, the MERV does go up to, where in the hell is the MERV on this motherfucker?
Special abilities.
The MERV count's only 2. I thought it was higher on this one. Shit. Well, hell. Yeah, that one's 1, that one's 2. It's another 10 to 15 spread, which is really only like 2 to 5. And let's see. Well, it's actually, yeah, 2 to 5. 2 to 3. I'm sorry, 2 to 3. And then the radioactive field is a little bit higher for the MERV. The special ability one is the same, and we have the tier 7 stack of 25%, which is going to be additive once right after this raid. So, you know, it's not going to be shit. Yeah, not that big of a. I think Hefe was going to call this the halo of mortars. It's probably accurate, but you still don't want to pass it up. And then we have the turret armor. This is a building special, power consumed. It is in the retro lab. It does give a ballistic defense 37 with the retro all the way up to rank, and it's another one of the 500,000 armor points for the armor. So this is going to be one of the things that you don't want to have in there for the what the hell is that hull that we didn't?
Impact cruiser?
Yeah, that thingy, the impacted cruiser.
Yeah. Yeah, good old turn armor.
Yep. So fun times. And then, about fucking time. What the hell? Good
well, yeah. Everybody liked Veronica Zemanova. I mean, there was a lot of comments in the YouTube. I had to YouTube comments. I had to delete a lot of them, but a lot of people were trying to figure out who the girl was from last week. And it's Veronica Zemanova. She's been around forever. So I think since you liked her, I was going to add her. You know, this is Brooke Banks. She's new to me. I came across this picture and didn't know who she was. And I had Grimace do some expert research to figure out who she was. And
I'm sure he enjoyed that thoroughly.
He was good at it. He figured it out within less than a half an hour. You know, you got to find the skills. I'm fairly skilled at it, but I had no idea who she was. So
I will just say this: that's a main prize I'd spend coins on.
Yeah. And I'm still trying to figure out where the buckle is to that belt. But yeah, But we can go on to the prize tree or the main prizes.
As long as I've been doing this show with you, you always look at the weirdest shit.
I mean, I could.
It's merely to upset you. I'm the one that picks them out, Dr. Daff. So I'm not completely oblivious to what I'm putting out there. I just don't, I think everybody can draw their own opinion from the picture. I don't feel like I need to say that much directly related to it, besides weird things that I might have picked up.
I mean, but look, we can draw a picture here with regard to fun and money, right? And and this, see, yeah, I think I'm gonna let that one go. If you're gonna have fun, you're gonna throw money at it. I'm just saying that might be a lesson that Kixeye might want to learn. And a picture is worth 1,000 and a lot more words.
High maintenance.
I'm not going to comment.
Yeah, we don't know her that well. But on the right-hand side, we have previous prizes that are
we have
released.
we have a pair of something on the right-hand side.
Yes. Well, the right-hand side of the prize tree.
That right hand. Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. 40,000. Yeah, unless you're going the stranger with the left hand, but it's 40,000 for the mana core. This is old stuff. And on the left-hand side,
40,000.
we've also
40 million.
40 million. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, what kind of crap are you on? Damn.
But why do they make them 40 million? Why can't they make them? Yeah, why can't
This
they?
This is why you're looking for the fucking belt buckle, right?
No. Because
I'm just saying.
It just shouldn't be 40 million. What's the point in having it be 40 million?
I don't know. I'm going to say the same thing when it gets to the damn the dragon.
Yeah. But as far as like, why are we adding so many zeros for no apparent reason? Why don't we chop 3 zeros off of all this? Is it making a difference?
Because these zeros to Kickside does the same thing that this does to us. That's probably why. I'm just saying. That's just a guess. Anyway, locked store. Stupid.
But let's go back a little bit.
Sure. Yeah, we'll go back. I have no problem going back.
Okay. But we have the same price. Normally, we have a higher price for the new releases, but the Proto Centurion, the Pack 2, and the Cannon System 5 is also 40 million. Normally, it's a higher price, but I think because of the limited utility of this, it's the same price, right?
You know what? For what it is, it's supposed to be fucking optional on top of everything else, even though I have a feeling that it's not going to be as optional as they're making it out to be. I would have expected, especially with the prices for everything else in this raid, I would have expected these to be lower.
I agree.
Or change. We don't know what the damage is going to be in the targets, but yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, it should be lower. The cost of everything as we get to eventually is immense. It's huge what the cost of prizes are, but we can move on at this point.
And Kat just asked something in chat, and she said, do you have to claim something on the left if you have everything on the right in order to get to the locked store? My guess is yes. Did they actually say it, or is that just our guess?
Well, that's the way it's always been. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, well, that's my expectation. How's that? Wanting the flag. Yeah, because the flag is in here, as are the howitzer cannons. So,
yeah, I mean, I highlighted that one because that's, for people that don't have everything, this is available. I recommended earlier that potentially they would allow everything to be available.
You would think?
Just but not up the limits. The redeem mode is 4. If you have 4 of them, you're not going to be able to get any more. But yeah, it's odd. I mean, they're not letting people catch up to become baseline.
No, and the thing is the raid, and this is what really pisses me off. The raid is where people would try and get tokens and stuff at a reasonable price so they could catch up, right?
Yeah.
And I don't see no fucking tokens. I see some of this shit right here. I mean, 4 million a pop.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
A sloth 24-hour token, 4 million points. What the effing hell?
They're rewarding the guys that have lots of money and blitz targets and get like 200 billion points.
Yeah, we'll see that more later on. But what else would you get? I mean, if you're point stingy and you've already unlocked everything, besides the howitzer cannon, what would you get?
Are you concerned with
nothing really?
Are you concerned with defending your base?
I'm just saying, as a well-balanced player in the game.
I like this special right here. I like this hull right here.
Okay, the Warden and the CM XM Reloader, I think is what you should.
I like the Missile Storm Cruiser and the Night Watch Countermeasure a lot.
Mhm.
I like.
Nightwatch Countermeasure is pretty expensive, though, right?
Yeah, but there's very good uses for it. We'll say that.
Mhm. Okay.
I mean, I like a lot of
No,
this. Like,
no, no,
I'm
no,
not
no.
that
I
thrilled about
realize it's
this one.
available on both
Yeah.
sides, offensively and defensively. But
Yes.
the thing that I was talking about earlier is the top two on the left. So it's 300 million. 300. I mean, I got the numbers right. It's 300 million to get all these new weapons, these limited weapons for the raid, which I do not think are the escalation weapons. I think we're going to see escalation weapons later.
I still think this.
Warn you. I mean, I really don't. I don't think these are the escalation weapons. I think we're going to see them later.
I think we're going to see them in the FM.
Yeah, but they look like escalation weapons. I just want to warn people that I do not think these are escalation weapons. I think these are, some sort of midpoint.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Padre?
I was saying, so basically he's saying it's a trap.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you want to exploit that new CIC. Anyway, I don't know that anyone's going to actually fucking spend the money to actually build any of that crap. So, and then on the other side, do we have anything? I mean, like sloth build tokens. Let's see, it's all tokens.
Oh,
that's interesting right there. Proto Centurion build token, 3 days. Now
they're slightly cheaper. Yes.
That's 3.3 million instead of 4. What the fuck? Proto-Tide Seeker is 4 though. Oh, come on, man.
Why aren't they the same?
Because they already gave us a Proto-Tide Seeker free. That's my only guess at it.
That's we're 1/5 of the way there. 90% of the game is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Agility System 4 is really expensive. I mean, the D5SL, that would be. Has anybody found a use for that yet?
Nope. I have a whole shit ton of them. I have no idea.
Okay.
All right, next one. Let's see.
Unlock store.
Unlock store. What the hell's up with that right there? I'm glad you highlighted that because that's like what the fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're giving us one. And the only reason I can think they're doing it that way is they're giving us one because the countermeasures may be off. That you may want to put in, because I'm going to show something on this later as far as the time limited offers. Kixeye provided their build for what we should have on our mana cores. And maybe they're giving us 1 day at 2 million so you could fix your ship.
Oh, I know what it is. I know exactly what it is.
They put
actually, no, wait. What's that? The CIC?
Yeah.
The new CIC is what? A day? It's 2 days, right?
Yeah, it's so close, just short of 2 days. It's right around there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say if that was for 2 days, if it was a 2 day one, I could see that maybe it's to get you to get your fleet sorted, but I guess not.
But wouldn't you put it on the flagship instead of on the regular mana core?
I don't know. A lot of people put their put the flagship as a CM one. So I don't know. I mean, like I said, that new CIC, this makes a lot of. There's a lot of things that you can do with this thing. Really, that's a 2 day build. That's bullshit. Damn.
Yeah. And I highlighted the catastrophic border because that's sort of what it is, right?
It's catastrophe, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've been calling the explosive halo, but yeah.
Yeah, I called it that for you when you walked off. So yeah,
okay,
we got that covered. I mean,
okay.
And what?
Any value shopping that anybody can see in here? I don't see any value shopping. I still think the Inferno Dragon is way too expensive, along with the whole kit.
That was the whole thing. Like, I don't understand why that. What's that? 15 million or some shit? Is that what
15 million. It's 30 million for the whole kit.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, that needs to be like a third of that price at best. to make it, available to players to, that still like to bang their head against the wall. It's not shown to be the greatest haul, So yeah, I think that's overpriced, but do you still need to get it? I guess is the question I'd throw out there. Even though it's overpriced, do you still need to get the Inferno Dragon, the Twin Fire rocket, and the RFX engine?
I mean, people are doing the 111s with the icebreakers. Whether or not those stay, I guess, is the gamble, right?
Yeah. And next month we're gonna have the Inferno Dragon flag.
And that's the other catch. Why the hell is it so expensive? Now, the other thing is, now I've done some tests, and with the long range build on the Inferno Dragon, you can actually lead 4 retroed monoliths through that target.
Okay.
Which is a pain in the ass because it's all of a month up refit. Well, not refits, upgrades or whatever to get the damn monoliths there. So again, that's not really I don't know. It's still 15 million is just fucking a lot of damn money. Points, whatever the hell you want to call them.
Yeah. And I'm still not sure what's up with the Edge missile, but yeah, we can move on.
Alrighty. Yay!
Yeah.
Where's Rum?
Okay.
Rum, this is all you, man. You cover this slide.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead, man.
No.
I insist.
Go ahead. We're gonna leave it silent. I'm gonna mute everybody until you explain this to everybody, Rum.
I'll talk about.
Go ahead, Padre.
Well, it all started back when it started, and
of course it started there. Of course,
I've got my 2 shards already, so I'm pretty close to having this thing built. Yeah, that's 2 total shards. How many do you need? Is it?
By the time you get done, you'll have 7.
Yeah, I might have a few more shards by the end, but I'm at 2 shards, so.
It's like 280 something, right?
Is it? Well, I think that about sums up my knowledge on this ship. So,
okay.
Thank you guys for having me.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll have Rum
understated. Understated as always. Rum, this is you, man. Come on, cover the Katie's. You're the first motherfucker that had it. Do it.
Well, I don't think I'm the first. As a matter of fact, I know I'm not. Somebody
you're the first motherfucker.
There you go. I am the one.
Okay, it's 250 shards. Go ahead. It's 250 shards. We got a couple. Yes.
You can get drops from other things, but right now, if you finish in a certain place, you get a certain number of shards. If you really, really, really want to spend a lot of coin, you can get a free one.
Built. Free one, free blank.
Yeah.
So you can.
It'll take you 20 days to fit it.
Yeah, well, at least it gives you a chance to get in VXP weekend.
Well, yeah.
And don't you think number 1 through 5 globally probably has one? Don't you think?
I would think so. Yeah.
I think 1 through 10 probably does.
I think 1 through 50 has them, but yeah, 1 through. I think 1 through yeah, it's global. I mean, so
the only people that are gonna be doing this raid for free, like they were last time, and getting Uber points.
Using them.
Or having them.
Yeah, they're already going to be using the Katie's.
Yeah, they're just going to get another one.
Yeah. What about all the guys that started building them that would go out and blitz the targets anyway? And now all of a sudden they can get one after they started building. It's like, wait.
Hey, I'm going to tell you, I usually end up somewhere. I used to always end up between like 100 and 200.
Yeah.
Mine's done. I mean, I just need to finish ranking it is all.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to need any of those damn shots that I'm going to get.
Oh, wait, this is leaderboards for
global.
The whole battle.
Yeah.
Yep.
For the whole, whatever the heck we're doing.
For the raid, for reinforcements for the raid.
So it's going to be some guy you never heard of before.
Why don't we need to hear about them?
Wait, I mean, it's going to be some guys, no tag, And all of a sudden he comes out of nowhere and you see like 4 billion points on his base. And you're like, why? Why do you even need all that?
And how?
Yeah, that I think the how is I may have an idea.
Yeah, I think we're assuming that he's going to be banned the next day. Is that where we're going?
He's just gonna take it to the grave with him.
Oh, Lord.
Isn't that the way it normally works? Is the day after the rain?
But it would be funny if the way they presented it is like it's going to be the top 5 players that weren't banned in the next 2 days
That would be awesome.
and don't already own one. The combination of the two, that would be much more enjoyable. Not banned in the next 2 days and don't already own a case.
So while that sounds really great, and I would love to,
We
see
might
that,
be
but
getting
hold
down
on.
to players that fill it at like 350 or something.
Yeah. So, but the thing is you're now that does sound cool, and I'd love to see it. However, this is also the same company that can't get the stacking bonus for a turret correct. So I'm just saying,
Let's
what
not
else
make
are
it
they going to
complicated.
break when they try and do that?
Yeah.
You know, you're going to log in the next day to claim your prizes, and you're not going to have any points. You know?
Yeah, but to be honest, I actually, even though I made fun of this, I actually like this. I think it provides money to Kicksite that is not taking away from the majority of the player base. The fact that somebody that ranks 1 through 5 or 1 through 10, and they compete and they have a pissing contest. And now, they got either a full blueprint or they have a pre-built blank kitties. I think it's great for the player base. I really think because those guys having the kitties isn't really going to change the game in any way. And it's going to provide money to Kickstarter. And it seems that they need it. And so I'm all cool with this.
Well, this right here is actually probably going to help some people get their KDs, and it is a long ass build, so I'm sure that's going to help them as well.
Yes.
I don't want to even think about how much time I spent on that fucking hull.
Yeah. Okay. Should we move on?
Oh,
Yes,
there's a brand new
please.
limited time offer in the game.
What?
No.
Outfitted manticores. $189 for a fleet of 4 Scorpion CIC built manticores.
Oh, I
No, I don't think that's brand
What?
new. I think that's the next slide.
Oh, is it? Oh, I didn't get the damn offer. Motherfuckers.
These are the builds on these. And this is what I wanted to bring up. These are the limited LTO Manicore builds. And what I found, on the left-hand side is this, the Scorpion and, it's on the left is the missile, on the right is the scatter gun. Yeah. And the interesting part I find is the countermeasures. And I think it's the insulator on the missile one that I find interesting. It takes a lot of time to the TI versus the shielded tactical insulator. They look really similar, except for the bottom part is bluer on one. It's I couldn't figure that one out, but I think that's what that is. It's I found the countermeasures to be the most interesting though, as far as what they chose for the builds. They could have chose builds that suck though. Does anybody have any thoughts on this?
Why do you find them interesting?
Well, because is there a reason? Is there a reason that should work?
Well, let me see what do they have the on the scatter one. So on the scatter one, this would make sense because you have what, +3 on that. So with that +3 on this, it actually performs just about as well as that one would. If math actually worked right in Kickside world. On this build, it makes no sense because this should outperform this all day long on this build because there's no right.
But they're not putting the sprint on either.
Well, now technically the sprint shouldn't be doing what it's doing. That's a whole nother story. Because and the thing that really pisses me off is they're going to fix these countermeasures. I'm already refitting to put the sprint on my CM ship and take my phalanxes and spread them out through the rest of the fleet. So that way I can actually use it for the long range, the big ass missile. But then if they fix the damn countermeasures right after the raid, I'm gonna have to fucking refit again. And this is all because of an error that's not my doing.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I brought this up, because I saw these builds and I'm like, I could have done a whole thing. Like, why does this make sense in the game? And, because the phalanx should outperform all this stuff, especially on the missile version. And I'm like, it just, I wanted to show it because I normally wouldn't show limited time offers because I don't want to encourage them. But yeah, this I found weird.
Yeah, what I don't understand, I actually just went in the game and refreshed to see these things because they actually come up now. 2 Savage CIC mana cores at 149.99. 4 Savage CIC mana cores at 189.99.
Yeah, those, you get the second two is the second two are a value.
I mean, their pricing again doesn't make any damn sense to me at all.
What's the buy in bulk, I guess.
I mean, shit. Anyway, do we have another slider?
I think it's the end of slide.
Oh,
okay.
Damn.
On the left-hand side is Kicksai's new badge for claiming whatever. On the right-hand
side, bounty
side,
badge.
Yes. On the right-hand side is we could crop that a little bit. That's my choice for the next badge, because everybody liked Veronica Zemanova from last week, so I thought I'd throw her out with the bazooka this week. So that's it for the slides.
All right.
Yay.
So.
All right. So.
I'll take you off share.
What's the F-bomb?
This whole fucking update and the raid and the bounty and the turrets and pick something shit.
Yep.
Yep. That's it. It's all it's got to be said.
Yep.
Oh hell. But
yeah, because I have yet to find a single person that I've talked to that plays this game that's had any excitement about what Kicksai's changing.
Well, because we don't really know what they're changing. I mean, they say stuff and we don't know what how they're going to implement anything.
Just make it fun.
No, but even if they have the vision of what it is, they seem to have it implementing. They have a hard time implementing things. I mean, at least that's what I've seen for a good long time. I mean, not historically, but recently they can't seem to implement things. They pull stuff back immediately. They don't seem to know what they're doing anymore.
Well, like the intent is great, right? Like the stuff they say sounds awesome if they could do it. The problem is when they try and implement a lot of the stuff, it gets fucked. And that's where everyone keeps on coming up as cynical now. Because, there's a lot of stuff that they could do that would make the game more fun, right? But instead, it's like they come up with this idea, and then by the time it gets to us, it's like something else. And I'm tired of feeling nickel and dimed on every damn thing in the game again. I mean, it's gotten back to that point.
Yeah, but it's been that way for a while, right?
It comes and goes. Sometimes it's worse. Sometimes, I mean, they do try and monetize everything. I mean, I understand that, but there are times when it's not quite as obvious, and then there are times where it's so egregious that you get that feeling of being nickel and dimed on every damn thing, and we're back there again, and that's not a good place to be.
I think the company has a much easier time monetizing the PvE environment instead of the PvP, and I think that's why you're seeing the PvP be crashed until they can find a way to monetize it.
I mean, it's a simple concept. If you're enjoying playing the game, if you're enjoying hitting stuff, I mean, it's not a hard concept to understand. So I'm having difficulty understanding why they can't understand that. I mean, it's really fucking simple. Stop fucking with it. Instead of going from tier 6 to tier 7 and doing that hard of a change, where the numbers had to jump and all this other shit, and you negated everything previous. Why? Incremental steps. Make it progressively harder. So that way, you know what? You can still, the people that have the tier 6 stuff still feel somewhat relevant. They can still hit some shit. They might not win, but they're not going to feel, they're not going to die on the first fucking corner of the damn base.
Yeah.
Instead we have this escalation power that's just insanely stupid and totally threw balance out the window. And now nobody enjoys PvP at all.
Nobody's doing it. Yeah.
You don't even have the ability to try and enjoy it at this point.
Unless you like hitting baby fucking seals, which is what I do now for base parts. I mean, not base parts, for points. I mean, shit, I was so turned off by PvP, I think last week I didn't even hit a fucking base, period. I mean, I was so pissed off at the whole damn thing. It's just, it's ridiculous.
But now how are you going to feel, George, in 2 weeks when your base is being farmed?
Like normal, I guess? I don't know.
I mean, the problem is it's because it's so binary, they can't do anything but keep swinging it from one direction to the other.
I mean, look, we all know it's going back to death by 1,000 cuts, right? So some people are going to get in, some people aren't. It's going to be, I guess better than it is now, but it's not going to be balanced in the way that they were trying to imply in the slot in the release. By no means. So, I don't know. I'm not sure. Again, until we see how the countermeasures actually work in PvP now, we've no fucking idea. They might work so shitty now without that extra 100% that someone comes in with, pandemonium friggin' sloths and levels the entire base because they're all landing. I mean, one of my sloths, I went and hit a base to test it out the other day. I literally hit from one end of the base to the other with the splash. It was stupid.
I don't know if the map wide buffer is that working. Would you say at this point it's hard to kind of calculate.
I would have to find somebody that would let me hit with it and without it and have walls spaced out. And I mean, they would have to, the problem is to test some of that stuff. You actually have to have bases really shittily set up so you can actually test things where you need to place them. Like I could tell you where I should be hitting for splash, and I can tell you where I'm actually hitting for splash, and they don't match. So, there might be an issue there. But the thing is like I'm not going to fucking spend money to test it for them. That's something that their QA should be finding. This is things that shouldn't make it out to the game for us to go, oh, hey, look, this is broken. Right?
But they expect us to test it for them because back when it was fun, we did.
I mean, I enjoyed breaking the FM targets. I have for, a long ass time. I have almost zero motivation now. Like, I know I can improve what I got. I don't even feel like looking at it. I don't. I mean, and if that's how
I've always been able to do the FM for free, and it's always been a thing of mine that I've always found a way of doing it for free, and I'm not happy until I've found a way of doing it for free, but I'm just fed up of it now. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, I mean, when we lose that,
I'll repair overnight, and then I'll hit a few more.
So when we lose that motivation, when we lose that drive, right? And we're
there's no carry.
Yeah, I mean, we're arguably at the top of the game, right? In whatever aspect that we kind of go in. When we've lost that drive, that's a really, really, really bad fucking sign for the game. It really is.
Well, how much time have you spent on the game in the last 2 months compared to what you were 6 months ago?
Not even close. I mean, I forgot to do the damn TLCs and shit. I forgot to finish my FM. I mean, I'm like, hey, it's nice out. I'm doing shit outside. Fuck it.
Absolutely. I mean, I wake up in the morning. I go bank res if I need to. Then I log back out. and I don't do anything until I get home from work. I used to check from work to see if I'd been hit, if there was anything that I needed to start, whatever. Now, wake up, bank res, log out, come home, do the same thing, nothing to do.
I don't even bank res. I think I get on to make sure that something's building and that's it. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's been a change in the game over the last, I mean, I guess ever since, you guys brought it up, ever since the FM changed and the Inferno Dragons came out and the 117s, when they increased the damage on the 117s, there's been a mindset change in the player base, at least for me.
Well, that was the biggest nickel and dime there was the FM, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I mean, people remember when the changed the last time when me and Caesar used to go back and forth, and we would be, trying to best each other in what we were doing in the FM for damage and shit when they first came out, and that was like that. I mean, that was fun. We were having fun. We enjoyed it. People were enjoying the banter and stuff. And now it's like, no one gives a fuck. It's like, okay, what's the easiest way to do this? Because everyone's taking damage. So, there's no motivation to fucking improve your build. There's no motivation to break down the target. There's no motivation for any of this shit.
You go out,
drive it as quick as possible, and then set it to repair.
That's exactly what I was going to say. You take it out there, you go hit whatever you can, you put it on to repair. If you need to get more points, you do the same damn thing the next day.
I'm fucking autoing them now. That's how much I don't give a fuck. I'm autoing the FM.
Oh, I've been doing that for a while and just throwing them on to repair. I mean, it sucks.
Yep. It's just, no patience. I've hanging on by a thread, I think, is the closest that a lot of us can say right now.
Absolutely. And the other thing that I'm curious about is how in the world can they not be feeling the pinch from the lack of revenue?
Well, they are. That's why we got all the sales. I mean, every day I log in now, I've got different sales in my base.
Yeah, but those sales suck, Doc. Come on.
I know they suck, but that's Kickside trying to get coins.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, if they suck, who's going to buy them?
But if you go back 6 months, remember we would see a sale pop into our base maybe once a month. You know what I mean? If things started to slow down, Kickside throw out a gold offer or something like that. You know what I mean? But now it's every day. There's a sale.
And even the gold offers they throw out are chintzy as hell.
Yeah, see, there it is
7
again,
for
though.
$4.99. Wait, what?
Yeah, there it is again. It's the nickel and diming has gone all the way to even the fucking offers. Where it used to be 105 gold for that, now it's 70. I mean, this is just, I don't know. It's.
You know what? The worst part of it is the ship build tokens.
Oh yeah, the daily offers. The daily offers of I don't see the 12-hour one ever anymore in the shop.
Nope, I don't either. And the one that I get, the 1 day build, is for 41 gold. I don't get even a decent price.
It's and the thing is, I just think, and I've said this before. I know they're out in California. I don't know if that colors their idea of what value is, but they're very, very, very disconnected to what value is in game in terms of what the community thinks is a value or a bargain, because we're not seeing it. We're seeing the opposite, in fact. And until they realize that, I think we're fucked.
I don't think it's the location in California. I think it's the fact that it's been financed with venture capital and people in charge are trying to get, money back or establish value for the company in some way.
Fuck that. If that's the case, then put my ass in charge for you. The first 3 months we'll lose money. The next 6, I'll double.
Yeah, but they don't. Yeah.
I would double the player base inside of 6 months, and then by the end of the year, they'd be doubling their money. Mm-hmm. That's easy as shit. I mean, but the thing is,
but they're hiring these people.
Well, I think the problem is in order to do that, you have to have some sort of idea of the history and context of the game. You have to know when it was fun, what actually worked, all that stuff, and have an understanding of it from the player perspective. Because back in the day, those motherfuckers played the game too.
Yeah, George has got this one right.
And unless they have
I'm well aware of it. I mean,
but unless they have that context, unless they have that sort of viewpoint in the company itself, they're never going to fucking make money on this game. Not like they should. Because honestly, the game still has potential as hell. The game could make a fuck ton of money but they need to have someone in there that understands everything, the entire context, from back in Blackwaters to the 5-hour fucking drive to hit a base. I mean, to everything. They need somebody that has.
But you can't get that. You can't get that unless you take it from a player that's not going to be a programmer. Because new people that haven't played this game.
I guess. I mean,
you know what I think they should do? I think they keep switching out the team and bringing all these new people in to work on Battle Pirates, right? I think part of their contract should be mandatory that they got to play this game and spend their own fucking money on it.
You know what? For the first
okay, we can talk about that.
2 weeks that they hire somebody, right? Their first 2 weeks, you do nothing but play the fucking game, and you know what? Give them like 1,000 fucking gold. I don't give a shit. But play the fucking game for 2 weeks straight and then start fucking tweaking and playing on the fucking code. Because I don't want you touching that game until you know what the fuck you're doing in the game and how it's going to affect me as a player.
That's right, but that's not what happens. They need to fill a job. They get somebody that's semi-qualified that has no experience with it and say, oh, yeah, I've monetized this game. I've monetized that game. Let me see if I can make you some money. And they jack the prices up on everything. The player base goes apeshit.
Yeah, I mean, Dr. Death brought up the fact that, make them spend their own money. I mean, Erica, as a game designer, I brought up many, many times. And he was spending Kick's money. He was playing like a regular player. I was playing with him. I'm still friends with him to this day. And they kept on banning his bases when they found out he was a Kick's employee. He wasn't trying to jack up coining or anything. He was trying to understand the game, especially at that point in time, there was a fleet versus fleet component combined with hitting a base, because when he actually would hit a base, he would shadow it from the real game to a test server. So the player never even knew that their base got hit. And so after he got banned multiple times, they won't let him play anymore. And then he started spending his own money. And then he started building up, because he would have to change names every time as far as what his user account was.
But I mean, they still do that with when they bring our bases into the test region. I mean,
but at that point, it was dealing with the reason he was doing it in real life, or in the real server, was because he was also dealing with the PvP part of it. I'm sorry, the fleet versus fleet part, as far as people guarding their bases, and that other part of it, because that was still a big part of it, where people would be guarding bases and doing other things.
You hide your shit underneath your base and wait till someone to hit your base. And no, I remember all that.
Yeah, but he was,
and that's great. But he was there from close enough to the beginning where there was that relevance and context thing that was already there. The problem is now is they're bringing people in a game that's years old, and they don't even have current context before they start tweaking stuff. I mean, GDA was the perfect example. He came in, he fucking thought he knew it all, and was like, "Hey, I got great ideas. This is what the game should be." And people were like, "No, that's not going to work because you can't come into the game and think you know it all, because this is not. It's a different type of game. This and that." I know better than the players. I'm going to do it this way. Well, what the fuck happened? Right?
Well, they still have that attitude, though, right? I still find that attitude.
Yeah, but the thing that gets me is the fragments that are left behind that nobody can pick up and do anything with.
Yeah.
I mean, GDR is gone now, right? So we're stuck with megaships in their current configuration. Who's going to pick up and run with it? Who's going to find his ideas or find the thread in his ideas to go forward? There's so many.
I was going to say, I bet you. See, and this actually goes back to what Padre said before. They have phenomenal resource available to them, and they never fucking use it. I can almost guarantee you, I can tell you exactly how the fucking megas should go, because, I mean, I was there from the concept on. When they first released it, I asked all sorts of crazy ass questions. We did all the specials. We did the friggin' article. I mean, he did what, 3 special shows to cover them? I mean, I don't think there's anybody at Kixeye other than Raken that would probably know as much of what direction it was supposed to go in. Well, no, you know what? I can think of 2 guys there probably right now that I know of anyway, that probably have a good idea of it. because they were there from the beginning, so they had the contextual reference, right? But in terms of the whole game as a whole, you're not gonna. I don't know there's anybody at the game that's actually played that long, or played even, that has that contextual reference. They need somebody that's played it. They need to pull someone old in from the original design team or whatever, or start actually using the resources of the player base, because the players will tell you. We're not shy. We'll fucking say something.
Yeah. Having messed around with the bounty and the nexuses and everything, that is such an underrated way to play that is so much fun. The fleet battles, the FVF that is generated around that. And right now it's kind of broken because you take a conqueror hole in there, you kill the boat. There's nothing you can do. It's dead again.
Yeah, it's gotten to a bad point. I mean, they have some things that have come out are interesting. I am going to wait to judge until I see it implemented in the game. My expectations, though, I will admit, are not high, just because of past history. So we'll see. I mean, if they can pull off what they're saying, then awesome. It's a good start. But I want them to understand it's a start, right? Because PvP is not going to get fixed with this turret adjustment. It's just kind of scrubbing off the top to look at what's really fucked up. Because PvP is still fucked up.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I was, like I said, I was very disappointed in the fact that how the catastrophic mortar. I mean, it's so fitting. He chose the name. I didn't. How that was introduced, because I really don't think, I've said it a zillion times, but I really don't think that's a good idea to keep on using this mechanism with the tier 7 tier bonuses that's damaged in a deflection environment. I mean, that's why I think it's catastrophic, and they called it that, didn't they?
Yeah, but I hate to say it, I don't see a path that Kickside can roll in the current state of PvP that's going to bring a balanced PvP experience for the player base.
See, and I'm
willing to do a hard reset.
I'm just the opposite. I'm just the opposite. And like Hefe just said, I see it, because the thing is, and we've been saying this for a couple of months now, when the turrets first came out, I can see what they're trying to do. The problem is that shit all needs to be in the game in order to get to that balance point. So all of it should have been released in fucking January. Like, you should have a path that you could pick to go through and get the stuff. Maybe not be able to get everything all at once, but we needed to have the diversity way before now. And instead, what they did was they took the whatever plan it was, and at the end of the plan, everything's going to look balanced. That's going to be great. But instead of doing it in the first couple months of the year, it looks like they're spreading it out for the entire year. So we're going to have a whole year of just complete douchebaggery in terms of balance in the game.
Well,
and this is about product. This is about trying to monetize the individual release of everything. That's the way I see it, as opposed to making something that's good for gameplay.
Yeah,
they're spreading this. They're spreading this out, so it's like
I won't draw that conclusion. I'll let
okay.
everyone draw their own conclusion about that. I just know that looking at it, the way the theory and the way that the gameplay and the math and everything's working, or should be working, it's kind of apparent where it's supposed to be. And it should have been there already, or at least the choices should have been there. The way it's going right now, it doesn't look like. I mean, we'll find some sort of balance. Like, it'll be more balanced in the next few weeks to maybe month, but it's not. We're not going to hit like the actual balance point where you're going to have to choose what you're going to use to hit a base, and you're going to have to choose what you equip to your base for the turrets, and like that. Those layers of strategy are not going to be fully formed until probably December, the way things look like they're going. Maybe even next year. I don't know.
I've got
a week before tier 8 is what I hear.
Yeah, that's usually what happens.
No, that's what I'm concerned about. They're going to do You know, we had the thing with the tier. Remember the tier 6 ships, right? That they were coming out that had all the group bonuses. And when they were getting ready to go to tier 7, they all of a sudden started dumping that content onto us because they didn't have it all released yet. Remember? So, and it was all useless once tier 7 came out. But
Well,
for the last
hopefully-
2 months, they dumped all that junk on us just to try and catch back up in the game. And I think that's what's going to end up happening this time around too.
See, hopefully, I think I am really hoping they learn their fucking lesson, and the next jump into tier 8 is not going to be this sort of hard reset. I would really hope, because if they fuck this up going into tier 8, we're going to probably lose the majority of players. Because if you go to tier 8 and it's another massive jump rather than an incremental step, I think people are just going to have had it, because that would be 3 years in a row that PvP is jacked up.
No, the whole game is jacked. Yeah, I mean, there needs to be a communication of the vision forward, and it needs to be followed. I think that's the only thing that they can do.
But look, they have the vision. They have the vision. The problem is it's a shitty implementation.
Where has this been communicated?
I don't need it. I can see the fucking. I can do the math. I can see what's coming out. I mean, I've figured. A lot of people have figured it out.
I've looked at the
but
map,
Hefe, the problem is, look. The problem is even if we can see where it's going, the implementation is still absolute shit. And that's where they fuck it up.
If they lose somebody in the middle of it, again, you're picking up threads. So you're heading one direction, and then you fire them, or they leave for whatever to get better, and there's nobody there to pick up their thread and go forward.
Or the even worse one is you get a dev that comes in and wants to put their own stamp on the game and decides I'm going a different direction midway through the implementation of this vision.
Which is what just happened with Raken leaving.
Well, we don't know that yet. We don't know which direction it's going to go in yet.
But it's not going to be the direction that Raken would have gone.
We don't know that.
Well, okay.
Well,
the thing is, I know how meticulous he is.
About GDA than Raken in this instance. Yeah.
I mean, I think with Raken, he's so damn meticulous that I'm sure he has notes up the ass, so people understand what he's doing. Now, whether or not they actually follow it, that's a whole nother story, right?
Exactly, because that's where they put their stamp on.
Yeah. So
I get that. But you know, as far as a mechanic goes in the game, I think the way that the damage is portrayed is not as functional as it could be. Because here I am comparing real life to a game. In real life, if you've got a weapon out there and you damage a part of the weapon, the functionality of the weapon decreases. In our game, you can take 90%, 99% damage on a turret, and it still fires at 100% until you kill it.
They did this in the game early on, where your ships, as they took damage, you would start losing specials and whatnot. It didn't last for that long. That was something Eric did. It was interesting, but players didn't quite understand it, and that got
but it's random. I mean, you can't calculate it. It's random, and that's what the game needs right now. Is not a random number generator, but different critical hits affect different things in different ways.
But this has been done. Does anybody else remember this besides me?
Oh no.
I vaguely remember him talking about it. I don't know that.
No, it was funny. Like your ships would slow down. Yeah,
but that should happen.
It would take, but it did happen. And they tried it in the game. They tried it in the game for a period of time. The player base did not like it. Because basically you had a fleet of 5 with. It wasn't even like battle cruisers and whatnot. This is like
but
I think it was right before MCXs.
That was right back in the game before people understood it the way they do now. Watch Padre hit a base. None of the boats go in the same direction. They all go different places. They all target different things, and that's almost like the way that it should work. Because if you take a hit on your engine, your boat should stop. That doesn't mean you can't fire your turrets.
They can't even figure out what they're doing now, is what I'm saying.
You got to think for PvE, you can't stack your ships. Once one of them takes a hit, they'll start getting slower, and so you can't stack them.
that brings the strategy back in the game, Daniel.
It just makes it more complicated to drive.
But it would bring a certain level of balance back into the game.
Yeah.
I don't want to click the back of a base and win. I want to figure that, hey, this boat is performing better. Let me get it out front to kill something.
Yeah.
Or this boat's damaged but still has a lot of potential. Let me drive it to where I can get the most out of this boat. It brings strategy back in.
Yeah, but doing that, you're going to pretty much need macro, and a lot of players don't use macro.
Padre doesn't use macro. Padre uses keys
I
number
don't-
1,
I
2,
don't
3,
use
4,
that.
5.
Actually, I use the arrow keys.
Well,
gotten pretty
but
consistent
that's
at
still
that, but-
that's flipping between the boats, basically.
Yeah,
You know, I mean that,
memorize the positions.
and it would make you pay a little bit more attention to your game. It would make you understand a little bit more about your game. Where I feel that idea came from for me was playing Battle Pirates, not Battle Pirates, Starfleet Battles, years and years ago, because you would take damage based on where the fire came from. So it had to get through your shields, and then it would hit weapon banks on one side. But if the boat sailed in the correct way, you could bring the other side of the weapons to bear. And that was real to what pirates did. They would turn their boats to put them right where they were supposed to fire. They would go for a broadside shot.
Yeah, but that's going to put a complexity into an already over complex game.
But it would change the level of complexity instead of having to do all the freaking numbers with the math.
I think
5 million and 6 million and 7 million deflection.
The
I think I
easiest
just
way
want to fix this shit.
actually, I think the other Kickside game does that. The space one.
Well,
Conflict or something.
that's what Starfleet Battles was based off of Star Trek. But yeah, as your ship
No, I
turned,
think he's
No, no,
talking
I'm talking
about. I
about
think he's
the-
talking about Vega.
Vega Conflict. There you go.
yeah, that's what I was saying. He said space game. That's what I was making the comparison to. Starfleet Battles was a space game like
Yeah.
Vega.
I think Vega it does that sort of thing too, which is kind of interesting to see, and especially when like all the ships kind of like do their own thing.
Yeah, well,
Thing
then
with
think
this.
about it. You take your boat down a channel and you start seeing hit boxes on these ships instead of characterizations of the ship. You can see that you've got damage on the left side of your boat, so you turn and let the right side fire. I mean, it's a different level of complexity to the game instead of just making everything pure math. You see where the damage is. You try to keep from getting hit there, because if you get hit there again, it may take a critical hit and destroy the boat. It's just a different way of damage, and it brings a strategy back in, which is what we need.
Yeah.
Who honestly wants to click the back of the base and let these freaking conquerors go in and kill everything?
Trolls.
Well, no, I agree. It shouldn't be that way. It needs to go back to where it used to be, where you send a gunboat in, you study the base, you figure out what fleet to put best together, figure out what fleet you're going to use to prep. You know, and you might have to take 2, 3, 4 different fleets over to take a base down. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That was the days when it was fun.
Yeah, exactly. And my point on this is,
Or
if-
deflection. Deflection made PvP binary.
If
Period.
you could, well, and the other thing that they need to fix is this bonus that stays around when something is dead. If you kill the portal, you should kill the effect. If you kill a Howie, you should kill 1/8 of that stacking effect. That would bring incremental damage back into it to where you could play the game.
All right.
Yeah, I agree. I do not like the way the damage stays or the gates stay when they're dead.
Yeah. I think that's going to be a little bit too complicated for Flash, and especially for Kickstarter.
Yeah, but don't forget, they're changing away from Flash. So
Oh,
now's
yeah.
the time to implement it and figure it out to make the game better, to make it survive for a lot longer than keeping this crap now. Because the way it is now, it's click the back of the base, or kill the fleet before it hits the first corner. And it's a pendulum. It's always a pendulum. With incremental damage, you have to find a way to drive the boat to the best place.
Yeah, but I think right now we're starting to put the cart before the horse now, because we got to get a game that actually fucking works first.
But George, and I don't want to argue the point, but isn't it time now to make changes since they're going away from Flash anyway?
Well, that's going to be a transition that's going to happen, and I think that's going to be a rough transition all by itself.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be adding.
I think you have to start from a good spot before you start doing something like that, rather than try and do it in the middle of a shit show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you stabilize the patient before you put them into surgery. And that's,
Yeah.
No, you build a $6 million man. You just cut everything off and make it better.
Yeah. All right. We've been going for a long time. Is there any parting words anybody has before we go to the after show?
Good luck in the raid. Make sure you have all your shit. Fuck, I don't know, man. Try not to quit during the raid. I don't know.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people that are really at a frustration point right now, and I can't blame them because I am too. But I mean, try and have fun in the raid. You get 10 million points for those 2 targets. If you really don't want to, do absolute crazy grinding and stuff, maybe hit those in slow repair and, just maximize what you can get while you can get it, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't need any more ballistic stuff, you pretty much only need to get 30 million, right? But if you need to get, one more Howie, you need to get 30 to get the 2 explosives. You need to get 40 million, so 70 to get the protos, so you can unlock the store, and then depends on how many. So we're at 70 now, and so we're at 85 for 1, and then we're at 100 million for 2, just to defend your base. It's yeah. I mean, I don't know. Anybody else have any other thoughts? I mean, that's the way I'm thinking about this raid, because it doesn't appear to be. Previously, it wasn't player friendly, and I'm not sure they haven't announced that there's going to be any changes besides adding new targets and whatnot. It just doesn't feel very player friendly as far as, taking hours of damage just to complete a set, and I don't know, we've got new targets involved and whatnot. I'm not sure what to say. So I'll leave it for everybody else. Padre, you got anything to say?
Well, this will be my first raid with the mana cores. Just let me.
I think you were just going to say blitz it.
Bastard.
I only built 1 mana core last time, and apparently that wasn't sufficient for S target. So I did blitz the raid up to the bare minimum. Didn't even get the tokens, but we'll see. I built the auto fleet. I stayed with the scatterguns because, well, I'm the type of guy who usually finds that the chores afterwards are worse than the raid. So I would rather spend a little bit more on repairing during the raid, as long as I've got something that I can, with minimal modifications, make do the targets afterwards for the resources, and don't have to fool with it. Because I made the mistake of buying or building a little bit of both, the Phoenixes, and I hate the Lobster Claw, as it's called.
Yeah.
I hate all the Reaver boats with their mismatched bullshit.
That's what I do. Are doing is done.
Yeah. Okay. Daniel?
Say again? No, I don't have nothing to say. I'm good.
Okay. Dr. Dav?
Yeah, try and have fun in the raid. The only advice I want to give out is for coiners, I would wait until you see what the targets actually look like and what the damage is before you decide if you're going to spend money on it.
Okay. Father George?
I think
I'm sorry, go ahead.
At this point.
Mhm.
All right. Grimace, who's been very quiet. Are you listening to us?
Yeah, I got nothing to say.
All right. Magic Mike.
Well, I sort of spent the day kind of going to the drugstore and got my Xanax refilled.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna need it.
Some people do their raid prep by getting the right raid rogue fleets or rogue crews. But you've gone in a different direction, so
Well, you know me, day before raid, it's kind of.
Well, especially bounty, you need to double up on bounty.
I did have to double up on bounty.
Yeah. Okay. And Rum Runner.
Use KDs if you got it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I guess I'll leave it at that. I posted it in the right-hand side in case anybody would like to join the show, the after show. And, Friday, we'll be having another show and we'll see what the raid looks like a little bit. And hopefully we understand what the countermeasures look like. And hopefully we have a better, friendlier system that the players can get points and understand what their builds are. And I just hope for better things. So good night, everybody, and see you on Friday. And and all the people that post, that's Veronica Zamanova. But yeah, you don't need to post anymore, especially the post I need to delete. So good night, everybody.